Green numbers across the board this morning as we get going on a Tuesday, coming off what a recovery that was on Monday. We started the day off to the downside once again. At the end of it all, we're higher not only on the day yesterday, we're higher here this morning to the tune of about 2.5% on the NASDAQ. Everything, the S&P and the Dow also following suit back to the upside this morning. At the lows, I was reading this morning, at the lows yesterday, about 9 trillion in market cap wiped off stocks right across the board. That's very comparable to the lows of COVID. Obviously, the market has changed since then, but the decline itself pretty much hand in hand with the COVID sell-off going back to the beginning of 2020 was 8 trillion in the 12 months following the Lehman Brothers crash going back to 2008. So 2008, 2020, and then this very similar to what happened in 2020. Was that the bottom? No one knows, obviously, but pretty good bounce here so far this morning. We'll see. Again, 2.5% here for the NASDAQ right now. The SPY about the same. The Dow back to the upside as well. I mean, everywhere you look this morning, it's a lot of green. Palantir up better part of 6% right now. Tesla 4, Nvidia 4.5. I mean, let's hope it holds.
I really do hope it holds. I picked up some stuff this morning, as I was telling you off camera, so it never feels good to do that, but I think that this is the right time, so we'll have to wait and see what's going on. Lots to talk about today, Brendo. Apple in focus today as they're looking to diversify their iPhone source from China into India. That will help save a lot of margin pressure that's going to be on them with the new Chinese tariffs coming in. AVGO, big buyback program. We'll talk about that. China in focus. They're responding to the reciprocal tariffs and Donald Trump doubling down, threatening more tariffs if China responds. Yeah. Marvell selling off, and the healthcare sector is getting a bit of a pump. UNH up nicely. Yeah, some news in regards to payments in that side of things. So we'll talk about some of the healthcare stocks, I'm sure. I feel like I'm falling off the shot here. Levi Strauss here up 13%. Not a lot of volume so far this morning, but an earnings report. We were touching on that briefly yesterday on the retail side of things. Decent follow through here. Again, not a lot of volume behind that so far, but we'll keep an eye on Levi. There was one more I was going to mention. Oh, some of the banks still doing pretty well here this morning. JP Morgan back to the upside. These led right out of the gate this morning back to positive territory, or yesterday, I should say, back to positive territory. They were among the first and then held that throughout the day. So JPM up 3.5 here, back above 220. A sea of green on a Tuesday so far, guys. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. I mean, right now everything's looking A-okay. But remember, in this market, things can turn on a dime. We've seen this before. We're still in high volatility terms. We're just 24 hours removed from the VIX halting, which was wild. Palantir going absolutely. I mean, Palantir halted. Palantir halted when bottom to top 25%. And then halted down, and then bounced and closed near. I mean, it didn't get back to the highs, but it's through those highs now. So you're right back to that 82 level. It's going to be wild. Broadcom sprinkles some buyback on it. That's going to give some confidence, I think. You like it when companies buy their own stock. You like it when CEOs buy their own stock. That kind of a thing. So I like that kind of confidence out of them. And healthcare stocks in play. CVS looks way better than you'd think. Whoops, that's still Broadcom. CVS looks much better than you might think. This one's breaking out. We gotta wait till volume comes in off the open because it's pretty thinly traded. But that looks like it's breaking out on those larger than expected payments. Ooh, what's up, Randy? The weather here stinks. The drive's in. It's like they didn't expect anything to happen, or winter to come again, and they didn't salt anything because some of the roads were a little icy.
I got super lucky and had, I had zero issues driving in. I don't know, it was weird.
I was crossing the street, and I was like doing baby steps. It was so slippery. And there was one guy, like everyone's like honking at him, and you could see his tires just like sliding. It's like, what do you want him to do? Like, you can't gun it or anything. Yeah, it's a little cold here for us in winter, but the market is hot, so that should warm us up.
Yeah, it's funny. Last week it was so gorgeous out, and then today
but
I think it's gonna get going again. Tesla up 4%. I don't know. I feel like this is just a dead cat bounce. Like, I don't really want to buy anything at these levels right now. I think you got to let things sort of settle back in a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if we do get into yesterday's close at some point here today. So looking at, something in and around this 235, 236 for Tesla, which is not that far away. The number one name that I want to be buying on dips. We've talked about this over and over again. So let's make it, true of day trading as well. If we can get Amazon, the 200 periods down here at 178, that's higher than the close, so we're going to wait for a little bit lower. But at the end of the day, Amazon nicely traced back upside. I mean, the fact that we had NVIDIA, I mean, even Brendan brought this up, and I talked about this yesterday, which is why we had JP Morgan long through 210 yesterday. You know, it's like they're reporting on Friday. So Levi's had a number out, 11%, reaffirmed guidance, you know, seems to be fine. They're up 11%, like we said. JP Morgan could, again, look to fill this gap even before Friday, which gets us back to 240, and then we can see, you know, where those numbers come through again. But look, nothing's changed, right? I mean, we're still tariff watch. Trump hasn't changed any of his opinions there, it doesn't seem like. And if anything, I thought I seemed pretty aggressive with China there, tit for tat. So we'll have to wait to see what winds up happening. But yeah, so far so good, man. I mean, the NASDAQ, as we all know, battling back today, up over 2%. We have the ES down here, NASDAQ 2.5% as well, and starting to get some volume into it all morning, right? And so let's just look how it's trading. It's pretty active right here. Yeah, I mean, what a fantastic day yesterday was. I don't know if we'll be able to repeat yesterday. Like I said, I had my biggest day in many, many years. So we'll see if we can do it again, though. We have TQs on our watch, and we have Amazon so far. Maybe some Bitcoin. I mean, looking at 80 right now.
I like Bitcoin.
That could be traded for sure.
That regained the 200-period moving average. I like Bitcoin off of that today. One note, I mean, we're gapped up with the NASDAQ 2.5 or 2 1/3, the ES 2.5% up. But it's interesting that oil's not doing much of a rebound. Well, that's one thing, kind of keeping an eye on that. You know, I was looking at whether we wanted to pick up some Chevron, but you're holding down around 61, so that move hasn't really abated. There's a wealth of... There's a difference between some things and others, right? Like that spike high, some things are breaking out above it, like an NVIDIA, or at it, like an NVIDIA, pretty much at those highs, like a Palantir trending higher. One that stands out for me, and it's twofold. One, because it's gapped away from even higher than the prior day top, that crazy high that we had yesterday. And it also bounced off of like a big level on the daily, and that's gonna be Uber. I kind of feel like this runway to the 200 period today, which is at 71 bucks, and there's not a lot of names that I was looking at that have actually cleared out that top and trended away from it, so that if there's a dip at the open, this is one of the only things you can buy back into the high. Almost everything's at that high or underneath it. So Uber kind of stands out for me. No particular catalyst on it, but things don't need, and what's good about this market is the stocks you're looking at don't actually need an individual catalyst to move. Like you just have to pick a stock that sets up that you like, as long as we keep this volatility. It doesn't mean we're not going to have the kind of volatility like we had yesterday. That's a bit unprecedented, I would say. But still, most of these are still going to do relative volume that's through the roof. It was a record day for volume in U.S. markets yesterday. Wild.
Oh, man. Well, I did up the button on my shirt on purpose here just to get these guys going, but that's funny. All right. Yeah. So, I mean, again, there's lots of beat up names that look to rebound today. I don't want to jump in. I heard Sharif mention that he jumped in and bought. I mean, look, I've been buying on the dip all the way down in. So today might be just another day, you know, to get in there, start averaging in a little bit. It's nice to see the markets back to the upside here, and that's obviously going to be a positive thing. So we'll just We'll wait, again, as patient as we possibly can. Yesterday, we got into that TQs trade around, I think it was like 940, 945, something like that, which turned out to be, obviously, we talked about that. So if we can wait for something like that, we took $10 on Palantir yesterday, being patient as well. I think we could do that all again. I feel confident every day that we can repeat these trades. So let's just stay there, wait, and be as patient as we can be, and wait for the trades to show up. And when they do, we'll hit them, says Rivi and Randy.
He gone, like in and out, like an absolute ninja there.
He gone. He drops off the coffee.
He's like,
and that's it, man.
He knows, Rivian bounced. Oh, it's only at 11. I mean, it did bounce yesterday. Maybe not as impressive as I thought it had done in my head for Rivian Randy there. But yeah, bounced off that $10 level. You got to look at, I think you got to look at some other EV names today. Obviously, Tesla's going to be in play. Oh, and don't forget China. If you're looking at for weakness,
China.
The Chinese names don't look very good. Still on, I don't know how many of them are going to be SSR. I just know Alibaba is for sure. And it's still got that $100 level and the 200 period. So looking for maybe a one-shot reversion. Well, I guess two shots. If 100 breaks, I would probably look at that 96 level as well. But even that is clawing its way back up, might even go green. But they were the only things that closed around the lows yesterday was volatility and Chinese ADRs, more or less.
Bonjour, Stevenson. Comment ça va?
Boom.
Boom. All right, back over the desk.
To 4.23 here currently. What a move that's had in the past couple of days. I was noticing the dollar backing off a little bit, the VIX backing off a little bit here this morning as well after just a crazy morning, gaps up above 60 and then just kind of faded throughout the day yesterday for the VIX, as Neil was saying, halted at one point. This is Micron. I was just reading a note. Micron up here, they're basically saying they're going to implement a tariff-related surcharge on some products for MU. Again, a tariff-related surcharge for Micron coming through. One of the first to come right out and just say that.
Yep.
Not a ton of volume here, but back to 71.50 here.
Yeah, well, most of their facilities, Brendo, are based in Asia, mostly in China, Taiwan, Japan, Malaysia, and Singapore. All of those jurisdictions subject to heavier tariffs, including Vietnam, which had kind of skirted that. But apparently, according to Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, who's on, I believe, Squawk Box this morning, over 70 countries have reached out that are willing to kind of do negotiations. So we'll have to wait and see whether these high tariffs on a lot of these Asian countries remain, Brenda.
Yeah, I mean, Israel saying that yesterday, Netanyahu at the White House talking about going to zero, essentially, on the trade deficit for Israel. So it's starting to fall into place here for Mr. Trump. 45.50 here for IBIT. A lot of people are talking about Bitcoin holding up better than most. I mean, it's kind of just chopping around here, guys. But Micron, interesting here, positive so far today.
The wild thing is, story or not, catalyst or not, all of these, I don't want to say all of, but almost all of these chip names, I think the charts just look eerily similar. Like if you pull up Micron, and this is what I think we're going to have to, you're just sort of dealing with this today. Like you look at Micron, there's your spike, you're pretty much right back into the prior high. Like, and these are not even, these don't do the same thing. NVIDIA in a 15-minute looks eerily similar. Why do I like NVIDIA better? Because it's through Friday's levels and trying to break out Friday's close, but you could pull up Advanced Money Destroyer, AMD, and you're going to get a similar look, although a little bit weaker. So I think you have to pick and choose based on which one looks the strongest. Oddly enough, I would venture if I was going to look at one that isn't NVIDIA, it wouldn't be Micron. It would be Marvell with that divestiture they're doing. And I think it has more to do with just what could move more. And not to harp on, play the game here. Like, what could move more? Like, Micron just recently lost a massive support level. I think if on any bounce, it probably slows up getting into those 80s. Whereas Marvell just, like, it's just a hefty move down. Like, Marvell lost, what is it, like 60-something% from the high, which is, I mean, it's just impressive of a move. So when you get like a day two bounce play, I think you're looking at the stocks that might give you a little bit more juice for the squeeze. And I think that would be Marvell. Like at the dips on like 50, we'll see if it, I don't know, I wouldn't take a breakout on this stock. It's not necessarily going to be a huge fan of it, especially when it has to travel $1.50. But yeah, I'd be a little more leaning into this one as opposed to MU, which I think is going to run into resistance faster.
Yeah, it's nice to see Micron down at those levels. I mean, I get it. If you're going to try to pick something up, there's going to be a point where, you know, you're going to have to make a decision, or you buy the SOXL, or you buy SMH, or, you know, you go SOXS, you know, whichever direction you're looking at. But yeah, I mean, from all the way to the top to all the way to the bottom, I mean, we talked about Advanced Money Destroyer. We coined that like 6 months ago or so, and it's just destroyed a lot of money since then. And Micron kind of the same thing here, although it was pretty consistent before all this tariff news. So I do think that the right range for Micron is, you know, up here. It should be at 85 or 90 bucks. Like if you sort of say, all right, maybe these tariffs aren't as bad as we think, and there is some sort of a push and pull, it was definitely just pushing and pulling itself between 115 and 85, back and forth. News, you know, earnings, back and forth, back and forth. So at the end of the day, $85 right there, I think is where its home should be. I know that's really low because it would be the bottom end of the range. But if Micron can get going, I mean, that would make sense to me. So again, I just don't, single stock risk right now is pretty high. So that's why I say, like, if you do like it, like NVIDIA yesterday, we had long at 88, and it popped to 102. It's back to 98 today. Like, imagine some of those prices that we had yesterday. I'm not sure those are the bottom. So it's like, if you're going to sit in there and start buying today, you have to be, ready and willing, because nothing's changed, right? Globally, macro, like nothing's changed.
Unless you're Broadcom or
yeah, but even then, I mean, they're sprinkling more money on. I mean, all these companies have buybacks of some sort attached to them, right? I think today there's a lot of froth based on yesterday's movement back up. I mean, the NASDAQ moved 9.5% yesterday.
Which was...
So, I mean, we're only one day removed from that. I'm hoping for green shoots. So let's hope for better. I'm long only. So, yeah, it's been rough, but looking better today. So, all right, let's get over the Seeking will be on in just a couple seconds. We're going to get over with our guest.
Bill Ackman, among others, are echoing others, essentially calling for the possibility of up to a 90-day pause when it comes to my mic is falling off, Mitch Hoke, when it comes to tariffs.
Yeah, man, they got you on those tariffs. Did those come from China also?
Probably. I mean, doesn't most at this point come from China? But yeah, I mean, interesting. Bill Ackman coming out saying 30, 60, or 90-day pause would be ideal before implementing. I mean, it's tomorrow that all of these come into effect. So,
yeah,
you buy everything before tomorrow. Is that the plan?
Negotiations could run into June, right? If they're running into June, I mean, this is going to take a long time to play out. So the first thing I would say is be careful for sideways action. Right? I think that's one of the things that I would be worried about. I think the boys are seeing that also on the trade desk, that we've gone pretty far from yesterday's action. If you miss that rally, it doesn't mean that we're going another, 10% higher, right? It could just be some sideways action here. Maybe a bear flag starts to build here. Maybe we get kind of a ascending triangle look. And so I would be looking for a little bit of some chop today between the bulls and the bears, because essentially the bulls are going to think they got the bottom, and the bears are still digging in here, thinking that in the intermediate and long term, it's still pointing to the downside. So welcome to the world of tape bomb environments, because that's exactly what we're in. And what I mean by tape bombs, well, you need to be watching your Benzinga Pros, all your news flow action, because at any moment we can get another tape bomb that can drive the market up or down. And that's the real hard part. It's not just one direction. That's where the uncertainty is, and you have to have your shopping list ready for each country. Like we got news from Vietnam last week, right? If you had your stocks ready, you can make money in those opportunities, like Nike, Deckers, VF Corporation, and some furniture action moved really quickly, whether it was Wayfair or Restoration Hardware, right? So today on, of course, Trade the Pool's Twitter, we're putting out a nice shopping list for every country that is going to be put out for the tariffs. Right now, we put out 10, and I'm going to keep putting these out because I think it's very important to have your shopping list ready and looking for trades out here. Themes right now, I'm talking about the I can't live without trade, right? So you got to be looking at those staples, Walmart, grocery stores like Albertsons, Kroger's, and we'll look to see if a name like Costco can bounce back. Those are the ones that I need to see sustained strength here. Those are the ones that I think could get a rally that could continue into this move.
I mentioned when we came on here this morning, the decline that we've seen on the back of this catalyst, comparable now going back to COVID, the move down around that 20+% mark overall. The market cap that's come off the market around the same. As far as those declines are concerned, if you rewind the clock, go back to 2020, a lot of people were talking about saying, oh, it's not going to be the same stocks that lead the market back. It was, the Apples, the Microsofts, the tech stocks, Google of the world, that everyone was talking about back then, saying it's not going to be those this time that lead the market back. Ho-hum turns out it's going to be. I mean, you mentioned a few interesting areas of the market there as far as what could possibly lead here on a relative strength basis. Give me your thoughts on where to focus your attention the next coming days and weeks here.
Yeah, so tech needs to play some things out, right? I think we're going to see multiple companies kind of doing a little back and forth. Some mentioning that they're going to raise because of the cost pressures, some trying to offset some of this tariff concern, right? And I think that in tech, it's going to be a very, very close stock pickers environment where if you don't pick the right stock, you might see some trouble and some turbulence in tech. That's why I'm looking elsewhere for returns. And I think a lot of traders are doing the same. They're looking at different areas, whether it be maybe value healthcare, whether it may be looking to see if the utilities take a move. But what did we see last week? And the reason why we had such an epic sell-off is that the financials gave up, the industrials gave up, and even consumer staples couldn't hold on, right? And we've seen the disaster that has happened in energy here, and that was a place that big money was trying to hide for a bigger move on monthlies. And so in this case, it's going to be a tough environment. You got to be looking for stock picking environment, looking in the ditches to what is strong, because it's not going to be a lot of names. It's going to be a few, especially watching moving averages. What can actually start trading above the 50-day moving average, right? 200s there's so many stocks below the 200, but I'm looking to see what can actually get back above that 50 and actually start holding a trend. I'm looking for staples. I'm looking for dividend players, because that's where I think money needs to rotate for the short term until something plays out here.
A few interesting areas of the market to touch on here. Goldman Sachs was just reading, upgrading Eli Lilly to buy from neutral today. And then there's all of the healthcare angle today, UNH up massively today.
Yeah.
I mean, news specific as far as this group is concerned, but just highlighting the simple fact that, it might not be the same old here that we see, significant moves in going up in the next coming days.
Yeah, you got to look at healthcare. I think one of the concerns in healthcare was, were there going to be like a pharma tariff? And that did not come. So that's actually leaving the door open for a little bit of a rally there, right? A name that I've been seeing kind of take a little bit of a pullback. Johnson & Johnson is definitely one that did take a little bit of a pullback, of course, with the talc situation. But I've seen this stock rebound from this situation plenty of times. Eli Lilly and the leaders in healthcare, continue to watch those, because money is always looking to go somewhere, right? And for a little part here, when everything gets destroyed, it starts to move a little bit to cash, but they're looking to put that cash right back into play. So I think in healthcare, those types of names, you can definitely be looking to see some bigger returns come in. Anybody
looking for more information on Trade the Pool? Where are you sending them?
Of course, check us out, guys. Trade the Pool right now. We're even doing a little bit of a competition, trying to give some extra opportunities. Even if you were opening an eval yesterday, you could have got a nice free $25,000 if you go and clear in 3 days. I actually took one of the small ones, and I am less than $100 away just yesterday opening it up. I think that in this time right now, you got to be able to trade a little bit smaller and looking for those bigger moves. So one of the things that I say is Trade the Pool's here to give you guys the opportunity to trade often. So those guys out there that are trading with cash or trying to trade on the PDT rule and only having 2 trades, well, in this environment, that's going to be a very tough move there. You got to stay small. You got to trade often. You got to be able to short and not be concerned about certain things like borrowing fees. So check us out, of course, on Trade the Pool. And look at those small names. They've been moving. I felt like the trade kind of shifted there. There was so much uncertainty in the bigger names that some of the eyes started to go for these smaller names. Stocks like JNVR, BJDX up over 100%. Today we got NAOV up over 100%. And I nailed that BJDX on our stream live. Like always, it's very important to be fully transparent, but you got to be watching these smaller names also. Micro caps getting the lift because the uncertainty was in the bigger names, so they just shifted down. When you're seeing multiple 100% runners, the penny stocks might be the go.
Lots of volatility, lots of opportunity comes along with that. Mitch Hoke, best of luck today.
Yeah, be careful for tech. And one of the things that can be a telling sign that it's just a little bit of a momentum move is solar getting the rally. If you see solar as the leading industry in tech, that's usually always a sign of concern to me that it's a momentum push, and that momentum could easily be taken out.
Great stuff. Thanks, Mitch.
Appreciate it, Mick. I see you got the hat going in there. I
Trade the Pool hat.
like that healthcare talk. I mean, I'm not necessarily jumping in just yet, but XLV did just, I mean, it did that nice little hold of the local bottom from the end of last year. So the daily chart, I'd like to see it maybe reverse trend a little bit or maybe rehold that low. That's what I'd like to see there. But they all got a good catalyst. I shouldn't say they all. There was a good catalyst in the space, and you'll see Humana in play. CVS is going to be in play today. UNH in play today as Medicare payment 5% versus the expected of just, I think it was like 2.25. So looking pretty good for healthcare. But I think in this kind of a rally, I always want to see, like, do we hold prior support levels, or are we going to extend it back in? Because it's very unlikely that you get, like, even this ETF had a $7 bottom top range. The aftermarket, no liquidity there. You're talking about a 5% move from top to bottom on it. So you're expecting something a little bit in between, which I think gives you a chance to maybe retest like a Friday low, make sure that you're getting the continuation you're looking for. We're still in the first few innings of all of this. It seems like tariff war and this market turmoil has been here forever, but it hasn't. It's really been a short period of time. So I think patience, even in the long term, patience still wins.
I mean, you'd be happy with 12, 13, 14% in a year, obviously, if you're an index trader. Palantir's moved 28% in a day. So, I mean, you know, yesterday's bottom was 65. It's going nuts here in the pre-market. Still going higher, up 6% rate right now. So, I mean, Palantir just continues to work, man. I mean, this is sort of the violent market that we're in again. And I'm looking for pullbacks into yesterday's closes pretty much on all stocks. So Palantir would fit the bill as well. I mean, let alone this 200 period right there in and around $80. We want to thank Mitch for coming through from Trade the Pool. Make sure you do scan that QR code, get over there, and become, you know, a member of a prop trading community. I mean, for us, we trading other people's money here as well as we trade equity only. Plus, we have the ability to trade, of course, trade futures and different contracts like that. And we'll be doing some of that today, but no options or CDRs or anything here. Sorry, no CDRs. CFDs. I'm always buying the CDRs in
It's funny because when you said CDR, then I put it in my head.
Yeah, CFDs. All right, so again, let's get ready to go. We're excited today, man. It's almost 9 o'clock, about a half hour. Market's really holding up here, up 2.3%. A lot of sectors going to the upside, a lot of upgrades and downgrades, and let's go find out a few key ones with Adara.
Rocket here with an upgrade from Barclays. We know this company announced an acquisition last week in the mortgage space, so good look for Rocket. Then we have Union Pacific with a Citigroup upgrade. Levi's gapping up here after their earnings, also getting an upgrade from JP Morgan Chase, and Knight Transportation being upgraded by Citigroup. On the downgrade side of things, we've got Cormant Digital getting downgraded by Needham. Those are up on the day. Also up on the day here is Lexio, though it got downgraded by Telsey Advisory Group. These last two downgrades are from JP Morgan, AIG, and Chegg. So a couple interesting names here to look at, guys.
Levi's actually underneath even with the gap up overnight, it didn't really do much last night when we were watching it on the aftermarket show, but it ends up getting close to the expected move in here. And we know the retailers, hey, it hasn't been a good run for many retailers. They jump right into that category, but at least held the low. What I don't love about this is you've already filled in the entirety of the gap here. Like you just pulled it right back into the prior support line, which does leave it a little bit of chop. It's still a dollar range it could get into. This is more like of a wait and see. I was kind of hoping Levi's would still be, you know, down and around $14, and you could have just broken into that resistance level. I think it should be on the radar a little bit, but with the healthcare ones moving around, with Walmart still in play on a day-to-day basis and much more tradable, yeah, I just think I'll probably stay away until let Levi settle down for a couple of days. Maybe it does make that next leg and break out this higher level at 16.5, but I'd give it a little bit of time after filling in the gap last night.
All right, so I may have lied there. There's not too much interesting names there on the upgrades and downgrades list. It wasn't a lie. I didn't know what was being upgraded or downgraded. All right. I mean, I like, you know, some interesting names with individual stories today. The upgrades and downgrades, their Chegg maybe. I don't know. We don't trade too many of those names, but at the end of the day, the market's starting to get going again. NVIDIA just broke 102. Palantir's at the highs. So we're getting ready to rock and roll, man. Rivian could be on watch today. We've seen Lucid have a couple nice moves over the last couple of days. Lucid off that $2 bottom, 240, 250 going to be, is there now. So that should be interesting. We're hearing more stuff here. President Trump signing some executive orders.
3 o'clock. You know he'll answer questions.
Yeah, so that's not until 3 p.m. So, yeah, look, it's going to be a good one here as we go. Just stay nimble, stay patient. We've got a lot of levels that we're looking at, and I'm watching the futures. I'm watching NVIDIA, and I'm watching Palantir here early. Maybe sprinkle a little bit of Apple in your life today as well. So should be good. JP Morgan on watch. Lots of names, and the best thing about it is we're about to go over many of these ideas with all of you. Make sure you do grab the watch list. Make sure you scan that for real trading. That's where we're trading out of. Should be a great day here again today. I'm looking at for maybe a sideways open, but looking for moves down where we can somehow pick something up on weakness, because I do think it's going to be a green day anyways. Today up 2%. We'll see, right? Yesterday, 9% move. We'll see if we can get it going. We'll look at the imbalances and all of that as well. So, all right, back over to the desk and let's get this party started.
50.97, guys. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES June contract. Just a skosh below that 5,100. We'll just say 5,100 as our level of support. Well above that right now, though. We already cleared 5,200 with the overnight high or the morning high, 5,248, essentially 5,250. So we're using 5,250 as resistance until we clear it. If we do clear it, then we're looking at that 5,300 area. If we lose a current bid right now, we'll look to 5,200 as our first area of support. If we lose that, we're looking at 5,150. If
you haven't done so yet, make sure you jump down to the description of this video. Grab the free, every single day, free from us to you, watch list. Comes right to your inbox. The link is in the description. Top link, all you need is your email address, and then you can just have that. There's not much in the way of individual news in the tech sector. We'll talk about Broadcom coming up here. That's really the only one. But individually, these are all looking pretty good. I haven't brought up Microsoft in quite some time, but there's MSFT up 1.7 so far this morning. But if we're going to get any kind of follow through here today, back to the upside, I mean, Apple up 2%, we're going to need these to participate.
Yeah, absolutely, Brendo. And Apple's got an interesting headline here with respect to tariffs. So they're actually planning on redirecting their iPhone production from India, to India, from China in order to be able to save some of the higher tariffs there. So the current rate on Chinese tariffs is about 54%. India is a little bit less at 26%. So that's going to help mitigate some of the cost pressures for now. A lot of analysts are talking about the cost of iPhone production, Brendo. It could skyrocket as much as $300. Like the current iPhone 16 Pro could be about $300 higher, from $550 to $850 US dollars, that is, if the tariffs go through. Apple's trying to avoid all this by shipping it from India, where the assembly qualifies as a device of Indian origin because it's changed enough.
Yeah, we were mentioning that a little bit last week when this first started looking a little more concrete, and they were saying, I think it was 37 million iPhones last year came from China specifically.
Yep.
And if Apple was to eat that cost, the tariffs on top of that, it would be like 14% decline in overall net revenue. So
not small.
No plan as of yet, but I think that's maybe the start of one here. 2.2 right now here for Apple, guys.
Eat all the costs. I don't know about all that. I don't know about that. There was talk about like pull forward of sales, which I think we all know if people are like getting in front of the tariffs and buying it, then they're also less likely to buy in the near future. So I think the India story is a much bigger deal, because it's a trend that was already happening, which I think a lot of people are pretty bullish on for Apple. So for them to maybe accelerate that a little bit more, I think bodes well. And as far as, we don't know what deals get done and don't get done, but I think it's a fair representation to say that things probably go smoother with India than with China. Probably a reasonable thing to say for Apple. What's weird about Apple is one of the only Mag 7 names, because again, I haven't looked at Microsoft. I say this every time, so I'm not sure. It's one of the only ones that is not really pressing into that resistance. And when I say resistance, I'm just talking about that spike squeeze top that we had on the rumor yesterday at 190, it was like 194. So I feel as if the market takes us, like if this gets into that level, you're talking about a hefty move up for Apple. And anything that's far away from it, if we pop up, I think you're fading into a level like that. But the last couple of days, I've been much more interested in trading Amazon over Apple. and I don't know that anything else has changed here. I like where it closed. You have last week, you're essentially looking at a Thursday low, Friday high, and then the afternoon resistance at 178. Like, you get a lot of confluence off a singular level here on Amazon. So that's pretty much all I wrote down for it. Was I put it at 77 just to give it a little bit more room because I think you more volatility. But these are wicks to 78. I think that's where out of the Mag 7, that's not NVIDIA where I'll be looking. I like NVIDIA as well, but I guess we can talk about that after AVG.
Yeah, tech bound. So for me, the big trade that I'm looking for here, it's on the sticky note. We're looking for it. Obviously, it's going to be the Qs. We're looking for something lower if we're going to talk about tech. I've got Amazon written down here as well. If we can get into 177, 176, 177 area, we're looking for that. We're looking for NVIDIA at 98. But for me, yesterday, we nailed that TQQ trade. Obviously, we had the top and the bottom of that. And I don't know, we didn't get lucky because we were looking for it. And we actually got this bottom there. It's too bad that we had missed Apple and NVIDIA. We had them both. By the time I missed Apple, I just went right over to the Qs and punched long and actually had that whole capitulated move, which wasn't even, I mean, we could even get more than that, but there's that 10%. It's 35% on the TQs, top to bottom right there. So that was a huge move. Can we get something like that today? Potentially. Down here at 40 bucks. I wrote down 41.50. At the time, that was sort of, now we're starting to ramp up a little bit. But we were down here at 42 or change for the 200 period moving average. I'm looking at 41.50, which is yesterday's close. So it was right into here for the Qs. If we do drop down into those levels, then we'll be looking long. I mean, we could start it at 42 bucks. I mean, you're still up 8% right now. Remember, this is a triple levered ETF. And I mean, yesterday it was just such a monster move off that bottom. This is where we had it yesterday, right there, right early at 942. Then just a bunch, like we had so many shares. We were taking them all out all the way to the upside. And then, if those of you that were watching yesterday saw what we were able to do. So we'll put on a similar amount of risk. We don't have a problem, pushing shares. So we'll see if we can get something in this 42 to 41.50 range here for the TQs, especially if we do go down. But I think it's a fade to pop day as well. So it's just, when we're looking on the top side of this move here for the NASDAQ, you're getting close enough to maybe seeing a 47, like there's that gap right there. So if we can get into 47, that could be a fade area. So $2 higher, $2 lower, and I think we'll get into some trades. So let's wait on it, be as patient as we can be. Like I said, man, the futures just, remain to be pretty interesting to trade, and I'll continue to do that for sure. So right there, we're looking at the NASDAQ pretty strong today.
All right, let's continue along here. Broadcom trying to bounce off 163, 164 back to the upside. Pretty good day yesterday for AV. That chart is not working. There we go. AVGO as well. It went out on the highs. We actually got a nice little pop after the close on this yesterday. So 10 billion share repurchase program authorized.
Yeah, 10 billion, not a small sum, Brendo. It's going to be effective through December 31st of this year. So they have until that date to continue buying back shares. The company may repurchase shares either via the open market, or they could actually go privately and negotiate transactions, really depending on the conditions they go on to say. Management commentary with respect to the CEO, Hawk 10. He said the program reflects confidence in Broadcom semiconductor and infrastructure software franchises. He sees the move as a signal of financial strength and the commitment to shareholder returns, especially what he calls the macroeconomic uncertainty.
Yeah, we'll see how this plays out today. I mean, we're going to touch on CoreWeave here as well, but a few interesting names trying to get back to highs right now.
In the chip space, Broadcom, it feels like it's got some room here, 175, 180 on the daily, because it held real good support. Obviously, back if you look at September lows from 2024 and then the August lows from 2024, and that's a very good wick bottom. But what's crazy is you haven't even really broken the downtrend yet. So I think there's going to be a little bit of, we're at 6% right now. Not everything is going to be a breakout trade. I like NVIDIA today, and we're back above 100, the higher lows, the confluence of the Thursday close, and then that spike high right in here at that 102. So I think you're right up in a spot where if it tries to go from here, you've got all the range from the disaster afternoon up to like a 110, 112. The other chip name that I'd be favoring. I mean, Marvell, divestiture, that looks good for it. Like this one back at the $50 level. If there's a big dip buy, Marvell staying green is one that I have on the radar. I do still think, and I mean, that's not to pick on Intel, but this is one where if we get a little bit crazy here today, anything in the 21.5 range on Intel, or at least once it gets past 20.25, I start looking fade because, again, the chart doesn't look all that fantastic. It's bouncing off some all-time lows. I think you're running into some resistance up there once it gets to the prior low around that 21. So that's one where if we get out of hand to the upside, still thinking there's some good pop fade levels on Intel. We just haven't been at them in a while.
All right, big shout out to my lovely wife. All right, so NVDA just coming in again here. You know, we had written this one down, but you're going now like crazy. So 101, you know, it's been holding there. VWAP looks like it wants to hold. Again, I marked down everything back to yesterday's. The 3 or 4 names that we were looking at were yesterday's close. So if we can dip down into 98, great. But we are going to use the 200 period moving average. So that's out of 100s flat. So I like that trade. If we fall back into 100 flat, we'll take it. But right now we're starting to go upside. And yeah, like we had this marked down and we actually had this long yesterday at $88. Like, I mean, just to have been able to have that in our long-term portfolio would have been pretty sweet. You are now cleared. Easy, clear, now above yesterday's high of 101.30. So, you know, you're going to be $2. Now you're more than $2. While it's 103.30 right now. $2 higher than this level yesterday. So I think it's off to the races with NVIDIA. I think you might have missed the bottom here. Like that's 15% lower to get to where we were yesterday at this time. 15%. Like in a market cap of NVIDIA. It's insane what's going on in this market, but, you know, that was a great move. I feel like there's going to be a lot of FOMO, obviously. I mean, I'm feeling it, right? I mean, we didn't buy anything yesterday at the open or at those lows. So I still feel like it's a fade to pop opportunity here, up 6% again for NVIDIA. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it's still pretty expensive. I think it's at one of its lowest. I think it's 21 forward PE, which is really cheap. It's actually underneath Meta and underneath Amazon and many of the Mag 7 names. So NVIDIA still remains pretty relatively fairly valued at these levels. We had talked about advanced micro devices. I mean, it's going to be higher now. Advanced micro devices yesterday, obviously. We've been talking about this one destroying people's wealth for a very, very long time. And it's not like you're getting any of it back. I mean, yesterday's low, again, was pretty bad down there at 77. So it is a nice pop up. You still have a ways to go before I think we can buy AMD. So if there was going to be a chip name that I would fade, it would be the destroyer of money. And it would be up here in and around 86 or 87 is a possibility. I would think that gap fill, again, what we showed you back on the futures, that would be something that's $90 for AMD. So yeah, tech going to be in play one more time here today, and it's going to be the chips, right? We saw yesterday SOXL was down to 9 and change, and I was like, what? As that name got absolutely pummeled. I mean, if you think there's going to be a rebound in the chip names right here, then boom goes the dynamite. You want to buy some SOXL as it's a highly, I think it's triple levered ETF into the space. So this has been absolutely crushed all the way back to summer highs of 67 down to $10. Crazy times here in semi-land. So yeah, Broadcom has a nice move, but you know, I'll be trading where my bread is buttered, which is NVIDIA and AMD.
Nice move here this morning. Not a lot of volume behind it, but nice move this morning for CoreWeave. It was another one that popped right away yesterday morning. Gets all the way back here to 52 and change at the highs after a few days just grinding to the downside. There's nothing much on this today, but holding up a little bit better than most here.
Yeah, and I was just looking at this. Since we IPO'd, Brendo, we're kind of in the mid-range of the price a little bit, with the highs being around 65, the lows around 36, 37. We're at 52 right now. It seems like we're defending this $50 area. I drew my favorite technical indicators here, the Fibonacci's, and we're kind of in between 50 and 61.8. So My bad. We're kind of caught here between a range. We'll see how this one trades, but already a good morning for it, 5 1/3.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on some of these this morning. Just be aware, Trump speaking right now, talking about China. They're awaiting the call from China. So he's going to sign some executive orders at 3 p.m. coming up this afternoon as well. His daily afternoon press conference, I guess, guys.
And as anyone just watching probably saw Alibaba make a bit of a move. 104, 105, 106 area into 109. Starting to pull back now. So, any comments on China, and this is what can happen. I was even watching JD.com yesterday a little bit. Look, one of the good things to watch for CoreWeave, I don't know that it's got enough volume that I'm going to love the notion of trading it. But when you think about, we always talk about this, and I think we mentioned this like previously, at least on the first couple of days. The IPO high ends up being like that day one high, ends up being a pretty key level for a short little minute. And it was a good breakout a couple of days after when you saw it really go ham, like very, very clean. So yesterday, where do we dip? It's just that IPO high, 42 1/4. So I think you look for those key price levels to come in because you don't have a lot of price action on these ultimately. So outside of, I really don't see any way other than abject disaster that you retest that level. But at least in the upcoming weeks or days and weeks, that's something I would be having an eye on. That 42. Also the 40 level on CoreWeave. Not really a trade. The volume's not there right now. As we said, there's so many chip names that you can dig yourself into or related AI plays that you don't necessarily need to jump into CoreWeave. But I can tell you now with that move on Alibaba, the notion of getting like maybe a dip into 100, seemingly less likely now that Baba has turned green on some comments from Trump, unfortunately. Well, still time. I mean, it's only at 107. Like the stock went 114 to 104, so it moved $10 down yesterday. So it could easily still get to 100.
What were we talking about? Oh, Alibaba.
CoreWeave, but the Baba was moving.
Yeah, I know. I saw way before I got up there. I saw that Alibaba was around. Okay, Mike is on. Okay, good. Yeah, look, CoreWeave. I mean, we looked at this yesterday, and it was like, okay, I guess it's going to do this again. And yeah, $42. Wow, right back virtually to the IPO price. I mean, they were looking to get $40 to $55. Comes out at 39. Get that huge move back in yesterday, and then wow, what a pop, man! Up 25% from 42 to 52. Give it $10 right there, and then close near the highs as well. Great opportunity there for CoreWeave, and today you're back above it. So I would say you buy the dips in this name as well. I mean, look at it hold the 200 period yesterday, right? Holds it, I mean, in the morning, whatever, but there it is there, broke through, came back in, danced around it. At the end of the day, it held. Then it holds there, holding. So if we're going to look at CoreWeave again today, it's 51.50 to me, and it looks pretty good, man. Top, like some nice indicators right here, 51.30, $51. For CoreWeave, if you do get a dump down in, that would be a name for sure that you would want to look at. I mean, here's the early imbalances right now. Yesterday, as you know, they were all Sean's, and today they're all buys. And you have one right there, WBX. I don't even know what that is. That's going to be a sell. But other than that, man, everything today is a bid. We started the NASDAQ up 2.5%. Now you're up 3 right here today as we are really starting to pump up on many of these names, man. 103 and change right there. Palantir probably 83, even higher, 83.30. Wow. These names are getting going here early. Nice to see as the NASDAQ bumps up. And of course, CoreWeave going to be a big beneficiary because as long as the hyperscalers keep on mega spending, then yeah, CoreWeave is going to be part of it. We had that story last week with Google looking to invest more and partner up with CoreWeave, grab some more H100s. So there it goes, man. Google upside as well. Amazon, they're all bumping today. It's nice to see because yesterday was pretty bad there. And I'm looking still to buy at some of those lows from yesterday. And I don't know if that's ever, I was saying, people in the chat, I'm not buying anything now. I still think we can retest where we were yesterday. I'd like to see that, and then we'll start to dip by. But right now, man, great opportunities from yesterday. And it looks like today we're starting to extend even higher. So there it goes, man. Google in the last 10 minutes, one red candle. So it looks like we're getting pretty excited here to buy some of this dip. And it looks like Meta yesterday, top to bottom, another incredible move. So that's another name that we might want to look at. Let's go find the story with the guys on the desk.
Day highs right now here for Meta up big time. I mean, you were just highlighting the simple fact down here, top to bottom, essentially $100 move here right now for Meta in a couple days. I mean, we talked about the llama thing yesterday. There's not much here today, but Huge move.
No, Llama was the biggest thing. Zuck took to Instagram, his social media platform, on the weekend to announce it. Multiple different versions of Llama 4. Behemoth, which is the big one, that's still awaiting a release. That's going to be Q2, later in Q2 of this year. Separately, Brendo, there is the Digital Markets Act saga still taking place with Meta and Apple, and the EU decision on whether Apple and Meta have breached the landmark tech rules aimed at curbing their power is going to be released shortly, says the chief Teresa Ribera, who reported to the European Parliament yesterday. Essentially, the DMA, the Digital Markets Act, sets out a list of to-dos and don'ts for these American tech companies. Donald Trump, for his part, has told the European Union to lay off American companies or risk higher tariffs.
Monster, like, direct your attention to the bottom of that chart there. Monster volume past couple of days with everything else here for Meta specifically. Just be aware as well, again, Trump's still speaking on China, it looks like, guys.
Yeah, record volumes, of course, the last couple of sessions, which shouldn't really surprise anybody. If you've been watching the market, you know that's been true. Meta, look, it's an impressive rally off the bottom. I'm just going to pop a monthly or weekly chart up here as well. The 200 on the weekly has 560, 561, and that was a support level. So I feel like when you're popping in here, you look at the daily chart, that's also like a prior support at 560. I think you get into there and you run into a little bit of a chop and resistance on Meta. As already stated, kind of like Amazon off that 177 for long, a little bit better today. So I don't know, and it's just been true the last little bit. Usually have the whichever one of the Mag 7 you like the best, or has been running the best, or sets up the best for you, you're just going to go with. But I do think that 560 is what stands out on that daily and weekly chart, and that's well within range for a test this afternoon. You know, the market's probably going to be getting some resistance at the same point as well. But look, I like Meta. I've already told you this is one that I like dip buying in. It's just I see Amazon as more of a trading vehicle. I mean, these charts are so very similar that you just pick the one that sets up the best for you, or that you like trading the best, or you do the best trading. I mean, I haven't traded Meta in a minute.
Look, it's been a minute since I've seen FOMO like this. This is the most FOMO I've seen in the markets in, I mean, for sure, last couple months easily. I was going to say almost forever, to be honest with you. Like, I'm sure there's going to be other times. But the Nasdaq's up 3%. Many of these names up 4, 5, 6%. And honestly, there isn't much changing right now. We remain very, very headline dependent right now. It would not be surprised to me at all if the market wound up red today. It also wouldn't surprise me if the market wound up 5% today. So this, to me, is very, very dangerous to be looking at a Meta, especially where it's moved and especially at the price. I think there are some ETFs. What is was it Meta Q? Here, MATA. What is the, anyways, there's ones that are a little less priced that I think you can get involved with right there, which is why I just continue to look at the futures. And I think we'll just trade the whole basket of them all. I mean, even the NASDAQ, like I said, being up 3%, this is just, like, there's just a lot of buying that's coming in, and I'm happy for it. Like I said, I'm long only, but at the end of the day, it just seems like overextended right now here in the pre-market. I don't know, to me, everyone's scrambling to buy up all these shares, expecting this huge day. We don't really have too much on tap. Earnings really aren't going to be the feature yet. And then we have bank earnings coming on Friday, which I'm excited for, which is why I call up JP Morgan. But again, up 4% again today. It's just a lot. And I know we've been hit down, and it makes sense, especially when we're looking at the NASDAQ, you know, and just not the NASDAQ, anything, diamonds, spiders, whatever you're looking at the end of the day, it just feels like it's just going up too strong. And I mean, you're going to see another name right now with Palantir. I want to talk about that. I feel like today we're rallying like crazy, and there's not much stopping any of these names right now as we just hover around the top side. So I don't know why NVIDIA's up 6%. I don't know why Palantir's up the same, but we're about to find out if it wants to hold. Only now 7, 8 minutes, 6 minutes until the market opens, and we'll figure out what's going on. Yeah, maybe there's interest rate cuts coming. Is that a good thing? I mean, we'll have to wait to see, because if the Fed pivots,
that means recession.
Yeah, if the Fed pivots to that, then I mean, I don't know if they're basing it on numbers, if they're basing it on what, but
it has to be labor. Yeah, it can. It would have to be in the labor market.
I'd rather them not
correlate.
sort of stay stay the.
I feel like if they can,
I don't know what I'm doing.
If they can, no, but if they can stay the course, and that means they're not terribly concerned. They feel like they're on the right course. They're not terribly concerned about inflation, and the job market is holding steady, and they can just sort of hold things in all this turmoil where they are, and go back to their original plan of slowing things down. I think that would be good. I'm not super eager for rate cuts. So, well, you know what, the president probably wants it to be able to refinance the debt. But as you said, it's so crazy because Palantir, we're going to get to Palantir. We'll talk the story in Palantir, but the move that we've just had, you are now just as far away from the dip buy support as you are from the resistance on Palantir, which it's insane. We've already gone $7, $6.
We had a $10 winner yesterday on Palantir. So, all right, let's go back over the desk.
Yeah.
Palantir back higher right now. I noticed it bounced off 83 there, went right back to highs. I mean, quick little turnaround there, right back to highs for Palantir. Nice March higher, steady March higher on light volume so far today. Another one that was just wild yesterday out of the open.
At today's highs, Brendo, we're about to take out 8%. Yesterday, we dropped 10% because it halted. So this was one of those rare times where Palantir halted, but it is more of a volatile name. Taking that $80 level, looks like 70 or 70-ish has been a good area of technical support, at least going back into mid-March. We kind of bounced off there and then ever so briefly dipped down into 65, but you can see the closing prints on all these candles here from yesterday, all around 70. So it looks like it's a decent technical level.
No sign of a slowdown yet, guys, for PLTR.
You mentioned $70 yesterday. We put that stop order in there to go long yesterday at $70. And there it is right there. We talked about it. We had our best day ever yesterday. Like I was saying, the best day ever for Trader TV Live. And there it goes, $70 break right there up to 79. It got higher. This is just when we took the snapshot. But it went $10 in about 15 or 20 minutes there yesterday. So yeah, man, just monster day yesterday. And I think Palantir can do it again. So we'll wait for this name. Like I said, if there's going to be FOMO anywhere, people love PLTR. I think it's a good name. I think you can trade it again today for sure. But I'm always waiting for 200 period moving averages. So that's at $88. It wasn't actually even on my radar yesterday. Sorry, $80. It wasn't on my radar yesterday, but we're able to nail that level, right? And so traders going to trade. And that's exactly what we did yesterday. There's 70 right there. So we found that level. We put that trade in here. As the market was coming down, I put this bid in. So we were really aggressive with Palantir yesterday. This is what happens when you know your stocks and you're able to sit there and trade momentum. So that's what we do the best. And Palantir yesterday was a huge momentum trade. Huge name yesterday and contributed, like I said, to that record-setting day.
Yeah, look, I think it's actually, I don't want to chase this. It's gone a little bit far. $90. Obviously, we saw this last week with that tariff spike and then fade off 90. Because you're at 84, what we saw yesterday, this can get there. And ultimately, I really liked, when you sit down, you look at a level like this, I mean, double top, week prior support, like 78 looked really good in here for dip buys. And it seemed like it was adjacent to get out in front of it. But you are just equidistant at this point to support and resistance. So Palantir is kind of diddling in the middle for me right now. So unless we get some kind of a crazy spike up for mean reversion, or at this point it would take a hefty move to the downside, I'm just going to stay away from Palantir, at least off the open in terms of being a little bit patient. When these imbalances came out here, there's really nothing, and I'm pretty sure Sean already mentioned, unless you're interested in Mullen for some reason. So there's nothing that's moving us higher on the imbalance tip, except for the fact that it is all buys, but nothing is standing out on its own. The only other name that we didn't go over is another tech name, Uber. I like Uber today. Has a lot to do with where it came from on that bid off of 60, and the fact that it cleared out yesterday's highs and then held it before everything else did. Uber had already gone through yesterday's highs, and that lines up with Friday tops as well at about 67.50. Now, I wrote down that I like 60 back into 66, but I think moving it on up and first shot will be at yesterday's tops to be able to buy dips. I'd take a couple of shots at this one because I think it gives you a couple of levels to work off of here, 67.5, and then down again at that 66 close area for Uber, which is, about to say the percent up, but then you get a dark pool wick down there, which is up 5.5%. So so many things are flying around that patience is going to be a virtue off of this open. Like you're just trending away from VWAP on all of them. Allow it to get back into key price levels, and then you can take your shots. Yeah, you're gonna have to be patient. Like I said, I don't know if I'm buying any highs at this open.
All right, Amazon, NVIDIA, TQs is what we're looking at right now. And like I said, man, the FOMO is real. I have not seen a moment like this in a minute. So we'll wait to see here. Up 3% for the NASDAQ as we get ready to go. Hey, Fabian, we should do an opening countdown as well. Why do we just have the closing, right? Maybe we could do that so that it fires off so we don't have to push that. I think that makes a lot of sense right there. All right, now I have to do it now. 3, 2, 1. There it is. Thank you.
Shout out to Foremost.
Shout out to Foremost, clean energy there. Thank you, Adara, for that one as we get ready to rock and roll. So here we go, man. Watching out for the NASDAQ because it's starting to go a little bit higher right now as well. We'll let some of these opening imbalances settle down. NVIDIA waits for no man nor woman as we go 104.25 right there, taking out some of those highs right off the open. And here comes a little bit of a dip into 103. Be very, very patient. I'm going to zoom in so we can see some of these lines a little bit better. 101 is your 200 period moving average right now. On my watch, man, Qs, Amazon, NVIDIA, JP Morgan.
Yeah, we just tagged almost 70 on Uber there as it's absolutely flying.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't really even say anything about Tesla. Tesla's not on the major watch, but 252 was that big high in yesterday's trade. That's trending super high as well. Like it's just everything is flying right now. NVIDIA could see that 105. I'm going to keep the eyes on Palantir. I feel like if something does the most parabolic move, Palantir was close enough to get into that past 85 and breaking into an 89, 90. Maybe we see something like that. But again, not going to buy any of these highs. Not a huge fan of buying any of these tops at this current moment. Let's see if we get any kind of dip. Palantir's starting to come back in a little bit. Amazon not really giving you any kind of a dip as well as I look up at some of these names. So not much volatility, but we're early. Only a couple of minutes. The volatility can come in. Like here comes Amazon back into VWAP. That's the first one pulling back that I see.
Yeah, NVIDIA's pulling back. I mean, they're all pulling back a little bit here as we'll see
Tesla.
what, not Tesla. Okay, so Tesla's starting to go back up, so that might be a good one. The futures here, 18.1 right now. So there we said, man, we said that there was going to be a little bit of FOMO here off the open. We didn't get up too high. We got up about 3.5%, so now you're starting to fade just a little bit. I mean, I don't think we're fading that much at all. So that was Amazon. Here's NVIDIA. We said also we're talking about fading into VWAP, 102.50 or so for that one. So that might be a play that comes in. I'd like to see us take VWAP, and then if we can get into 101, then that would be something a little more interesting. I feel like we've missed some of that. I should have just stuck with the rhetoric of that it was FOMO and we could have shorted everything. Intel, of course, the worst stays bad as that falls right into 1990 there, but that is the 200 period, which is why it's showing up here on my radar. So we'll have to watch out for 200 period here on Intel and possibly a bounce there off VWAP. That was 19.9. It's too bad I didn't feel better about Intel because that would be a good look there as well. So Bitcoin trying to hold as well, 80,000 right here. So we can go over to IBIT and have a quick look, 45.50 right now for IBIT. We want to thank everybody for coming through. Make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe and share and everything. Okay, NVIDIA's coming into 103, so it might be dip buy opportunity. NASDAQ holding and NVIDIA is the one that's coming down. So is Intel. Intel's now cracking through the 200 period.
Intel's dumping more.
Maybe that's a short, man, Intel.
Well, the other thing is that's distinctly different here. AMD is flying to the upside. As you were mentioning the chip name, I went across the board. I'm like, okay, well, why is AMD up 5 points when Intel is dumping? Look, I did like Intel short. It just wasn't any of these prices. But if it's going to trend down, it's going to trend down. I can't find a story or a reason why it's going. Marvell was another chip name that was going to be in play for us. And that's not moving at all. Like, it's just, yeah, we're just, again, going to have to stay patient. So if we're not going to, if it doesn't break the high, then it can't fly. And if it can't break the low, there's nowhere to go, is one of my favorite sayings. And Intel's at least underneath yesterday's tops and the pre-market highs, so I'm going to fade that one. It's clearly relatively weak, no questions asked, because the market's trying to pump back in to the upside.
All right, we're short Intel already right now at $20.13.
Oh, wait, that's why I didn't know. Position board, guys.
Yeah, position board's not working. We're short Intel right now, so let's wait to see if it wants to work. Thanks. Fabian's by his lonesome there today, so shout out to Fabian. Great work over there as Here comes
Holy
Andre
Uber.
to save the day. All right, let's go. Nice move. Bang, 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 bang. Spend a little bit of money here for Intel, as that's a good short there. We just covered some more. We averaged into the short. It's going to look sloppy. I wish the board was working. We could have talked a little bit about it. But right now we're short at $20.13. So look at the market, though, man. There goes the NASDAQ. It's amazing that Intel's actually not ripping right now. Look at the market starting to go up. We did look at NVIDIA. We probably should have maybe looked at that a little more serious because it held pretty nicely there at 103. The other dip buy opportunity that we were looking at. And look, I'm happy as a pig, and you know what, to be short Intel right now. This is 20 damn cents right now on shares, man. I mean, we got confident from yesterday, so we're right back in the building here with Intel and this short. We're short now at $20.13. We just got another cover at $19.90. Let's put some more down here. Oh boy, we're kind of doing it again right now today as we go short early off of Intel. So that's going to be a win right there to start with. Alibaba, we talked about, I just feel lucky to get out of all of this name at 140. We talked about that 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. It's really fallen back in here, Alibaba, out of nowhere. I mean, we do miss that top of 150, but those were good outs. And, you know, we said this a long time ago. We don't necessarily want to be holding on to too many Chinese names, especially because it had such a good outperformance there. So, yeah, anyways, Intel's the dinger right now so far here today for me, as we're cruising with this name. Nice short here for INTC. I'm going to put another bid out. I don't know if the position board's going to update, but maybe on my next fill. That's the only position I'm in right now, looking to get long something as this market is starting to go. You know, it looks like, I know I missed it, Los Polos Hermanos. We talked about NVIDIA at least, and that's what we're going to do on the show. I'm not going to get everything at the end of the day, but, you know, we've got something here, and it's a pretty special one with Intel. Let's see if we can get something else.
Yeah, I'm looking over at Uber, which I like to long side, but it already got to that $70 level, which is a little bit wild. It's just so outstretched. Got to see if we can actually close holding VWAP, because right now I see topping tail candles across the board, like topping tail into resistance. You got to hold on to some support, or I don't want to be fighting around with you and messing around with you too much. I'm going to have to pivot to my good friend. It's not really my friend. Load Mara. Like, I looked over at Bitcoin holding out, and I saw Mara underneath VWAP right now. So relative weakness speaks for itself. $12 there. I'll show you. IBIT's holding underneath 80,000. I wanted to see it. We're at 79.5. I wanted to see us clear 80,000 for longs, or we're pulling back into price support levels. So I'm going to like IBIT. If it's short, I like Mara more than IBIT. I'm going to take this one into VWAP if we can get it. That's about 11.55.
All right, looking for more opportunities, but yeah, buddy, more outs there, man, more 90s. I don't know if this is going to break this level or not. My next bid, though, now is at 84. So there it goes. Let's go, Intel. Here we go, man. It's a banger right now. So Neil's got long Mara here. I'm waiting at 84. So let me just bid out.
Oh, it's working now.
Yeah, it's working now. So that's why I'm saying. So
it's short. It's not long.
Oh, it's short, Mara. My bad. Yeah, okay, good luck.
I'll long Bitcoin at 40. Sorry, I'll long IBIT at 44.25.
Yes, there it is, my Intel. Let's go. Oh, look at that price. Let's see if we can get this going here on Intel. Just took that fill at 84. What up, eh?
Just keep an eye here on MU. I was looking here for any stories in Intel, couldn't find one, but this came out on Micron, I guess a little bit around 8 a.m. This basically, we have Reuters reporting that the company is telling its U.S. customers that it'll impose a tariff-related surcharge on some products starting on April 9th, 2025, when the tariffs come into effect. So MU on watch, dropping a little bit here at the open, but obviously still in a bit of an uptrend. PLAY, Dave & Buster's, also on watch for day one earnings. Back to you.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be in play today, along with Levi's. Strauss. I'm supposed to say. I never say the full name. So we're headed back in. The NASDAQ might test 18,000 on the way back in here. Bitcoin still holding 17.5, but Mara, with that failed breakout, holding under VWAP. I tried to get some closer to 60s. I got 54s. I had 55 and 56 as well. But prior close was at the quarter mark. I want to make sure we're getting out in front of, taking bids in front of that prior close. If I can get something at 39 there, and then out to 11.25 as that heads to the downside. But the chip names, yikes. See these topping tail candles? NVIDIA topping tail 105, now trying to claim VWAP to the downside here. AMD, which was absolutely mooning, is at VWAP itself. So I think you got to play a little bit of a patience game for the dip buys. You're so far outstretched here that I don't want to be getting way too out in front of myself. Palantir's not nearly as volatile as I expected. Kind of felt Palantir would be the most volatile stock off the open. It's just not been true. Uber is nowhere near prior day lows. It's kind of hanging out at 69. That's to me too far to chase. Let the opening range settle on Uber. Not buying any of these at the tops.
Yeah, we've done well just to hold on to Intel. We'll look for a little bit more here. What about SMCI? I saw, I think it was Kian there talked to me on Twitter about this name, liked it, SMCI, nice move up there, 35.50 there for SMCI, but as we had mentioned, we are getting a little bit of a fade. Oh man, the NASDAQ just touched that? No. All right, 50-period moving average. So we're getting close to VWAP right there. That could have been a good opportunity there on the futures to get a little bit of action there. We did average out of our play there on Intel, so that would be something to look at. We're out of actually half of that trade now. We'll see if it can hold this level there for the futures. I'm still looking at the 200 period down there, so let's wait a little bit for that. NVIDIA does make that move down. Yeah, I don't know, into 103 again, so it's just bouncing around flat here, bouncing around VWAP right now and trying to flatten out is what I'm trying to say. It's trying to find a level because we had already held this 102.80, but if we break lower, that's fine, man. We are short right now, and I said this could be a fade the pop kind of day for sure. SMCI really, I don't know how we just looked up SMCI there, but it is making a move lower right now, pretty good. Right there, down to 34 and looking lower SMCI. So short Mars, short Intel. We just got these two plays on right now. Maybe looking for some Amazon long.
Amazon's looking weak. As I was about to tell you, Amazon's at 180 right now, and that's looking awfully weak.
Wow, what?
Relative to
this. What
levels right on the NASDAQ?
170.
I mean, we're so far away from VWAP over 18. Yeah, there's some real weakness, relatively speaking, in Amazon. I think 170, it's right into the prior close. The tops in the aftermarket, into 177, where I wanted the long in Amazon. So you get down there, look mean, revert. I'm just having a double check up. If NVIDIA's not even close to 100, it's still at 103. So NVIDIA's not that close to support either. We go back over just to update. Mara is still shorting it into VWAP and taking it out into the afternoon resistance level. So we're shorting into the mid-50s, just got to fill down there in the mid-30s. We'll reload it in front of VWAP as long as that continues to go. And why? Because IBIT is doing a similar story. So Bitcoin's doing a similar story, fading into 45. I still like 44 quarter a little bit more than anything else. Yeah, the market's starting to come in here. It's not nearly as volatile of a down move that we saw yesterday, ripping your faces off. Worth noting, Palantir is still completely linear. Like this little upward trend that it's been having for 2 hours now is completely unbroken. It's not doing anything, Palantir.
Yeah, Palantir's great. Okay, there it is, man. Another one. We've got it right here. Let's go. With NVIDIA, with Amazon. So we stick to our guns there a little bit. We have Amazon, whether or not it goes higher or not. We just broke through 181 there. So that was 50 cents. Let's see if it wants to still get a little bit higher. But it is a brand new position for me. It's Amazon. It just went nicely up there. We were actually waiting. We actually did not have an offer, my bad. Now we're waiting at 181.12. So if we can get a nice move up for that, that would be greatly appreciated. AMZN looking for higher. Let's put out 5% at 95s. Maybe we get that. We're at 94, and we'll look to see, because 180, if we do not hold 180, then we can get out, because the lower level for us on Amazon, we just got some more shares there, by the way. The lower level for us on Amazon is we wrote down 177. So if we do think that this market is a little bit in trouble here, then we will wait for 177. But at the end of the day, we are long right now, just looking to see if we can get a little bit of a bounce. We're at the 200 period moving average because there it is. Let's go. 30 cents right now in on Amazon. We'll see if we can keep it going. But yeah, as I was saying, at the end of the day, it's a strong name. It came into the 200 period moving average. That's my level. We've been charting that forever. So let's go, man. This is, we're just being who we are again here today, following the right rules. being comfortable with the positioning. So here goes Amazon. We are waiting at there it is, 118.12. I had said that that's where we were, and that's where we just got out. So, Neil, that's another 60-cent winner right there on Amazon. So Amazon and Intel, two big ones so far here. Let's see if it wants to keep going. Be patient today. Could be a sideways move, and we've got Amazon now, so I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I just took out, we had 55 reloads, so the third time we got in tomorrow, I'm jumping out at VWAP 61 as it starts to break. Remember, I'm following along with IBIT, so as I see IBIT break out of its channel, I'm like, nope. We don't want to be in Mara. I think Mara is usually going to do a bit of an outsized move relative to Bitcoin. Still want to make sure that this is holding lower highs before we jump back into it. Uber not really setting up for the long just yet. It's still kind of downward trending. Nvidia is looking a little bit better as it's trying, like it just held on to VWAP. You're not getting anything resembling like the $100 level, even the 101 coming in yet on Nvidia, but it's still a topping tail candle. 102 is about as far as I wanted to chase this because that's at least a prior day high. But you're still a ways away from that sitting up at 104. And Palantir is completely, Palantir is just bizarre right now in Palantir, what I'm seeing. Might just end up being a breakout style play at an even dollar in Palantir to be able to get into this thing.
Hit me, baby, one more time. There goes Amazon. Now we're 70 cents in the money on a reloaded 70 cents in the money. Neil, it is ours. It is Trader TV Live's first dollar club right there. Look at Amazon. Pop goes the weasel, Mr. Roberts. There it goes. Nice move to the upside again. Oh boy, there it goes, man. Shout out to my guy, Obi. There it goes, man. 181.50. Oh man, Amazon, we've done it again here today, Neil. There it goes. Boom. $1.30 in the money now for Amazon as we continue to go higher and higher. So I know you'll get back in there. Good luck with Mara. But here we go, man. It is Amazon, and it is absolutely Rip City. Shout out to all my friends in Portland, Oregon. So there it goes, man. Nice move to the upside as we continue to break out Amazon. Oh boy, Adara. There we go, man. Amazon and Intel. Different day, same market, nice and fun. Look at the NQs going up now 4%. We'll see if we can get to that 4% marker. Taking some more out of Intel. Miss Adara, what's good with you?
Small cap mover on watch here. 60 Degrees Pharmaceuticals, SXTP. This one's moved in the past. Today, moving after announcing that they have a patent license agreement with Yale's School of Medicine and Public Health for the development and commercialization of one of their treatments. So SXTP is on watch here with about a 1.3 million share float. Small cap runner alert. Just so you guys know as well, we don't actually have any numbers coming through at 10 a.m. Back to you.
Today, all you got to worry about is 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock when there's some executive orders being signed. And even then, it doesn't mean you're going to get anything too crazy. So I'm going to go right back over to the well. All right, Uber's starting to come in here. Back to the well means the only position that we've had on. We had that Uber trade, Idea, which hasn't come into play just yet, and Mara, we're to the south side underneath VWAP again. Uber's starting to hold out at VWAP. I don't necessarily want to be taking a breakout trade, but you reverse the trend and starting to hold the volume weighted average price. Dips that far just don't seem to be happening. We're going to play it off as 69. This one's so far upside here, and you got to give things a little bit more room. The local bottom is sitting at about 68.40 or 68.60, so that's about 40 cents worth of risk. If we close this above VWAP, I'll join the long. If we don't, then we're still going to be waiting on Uber for the long play. Nvidia is at 105, but it hasn't broken yet. And as I said, we're jumping back into Mara. There's a wick high, lower high still being put in on MARA. The lower end of the range is 1135. That's where I want to be covering it. Bitcoin not participating because it can't seem to break 80,000. As long as that's true, then Mara is the one I want to look short.
Tasty banana. Thanks, Randy, for that one. Yeah, no, I was saying the Portland, Oregon thing for Rip City, so it's an NBA thing. Okay, so here we go, man.
I think Rip Hamilton when you say that.
Okay. Yeah, I like Rip Hamilton. Okay, so Intel, shout out the Detroit Pistons. So I like, I'm just getting more out here of Intel. I just think Amazon could be one of those ones again. Like, we're in the money $1. right now on Amazon. So we'll see if we can get going even higher than that, man. I mean, VWAP's at 182.50. Look, man, if it loses, it loses. At the end of the day, we're out of half of it already. Trying to see if we can get something going. We did say that there was a little bit of FOMO here today, and it looks like right now it's holding, right? I mean, sure, you're getting a move down. Get down, Intel. That'd be nice. I have about 4 times the shares on Intel that I do on Amazon, just to let you guys know. But if this breaks 180, we're gone, and I'm not reloading it. So that's my trade there for Amazon. We didn't even get to VWAP, so it was a good trade. We're able to get out of, like I said, out of half right there as the real deal Holyfield is in the building one more time here today. Okay, so the market just, BABA's falling. I mean, if BABA breaks, all right, Hassett just saying Trump wants fair trade, of course. All right, so BABA down to 104. Yeah, I mean, we had looked at that earlier on today. I didn't look at it seriously enough, obviously, because that 110 would have been pretty nice. But that was in the pre-market, so to have gotten that, I don't know, that's pretty tough. And then right before the market opened, we had this move down. Maybe there was a sell imbalance, but this is looking pretty vulnerable down here at 104. If we break that 104, man, forget about Intel short. This could be the one. We just got some more out of Intel, by the way. Right into there, 103. I think if we break that 104, we easily get to that 103. So that could be $1 right there if that can come through. So yeah, so far so good here with Intel, and with Intel's coming back up, by the way. We just got out right there, as I said, at $20. We should have took advantage of this 95 level. Actually, I was at 94 and it just missed me. So that actually went to 94. So here it is, man. $20.10 back to the upside for Intel. Remember where our stop is on this one, $20.20. So if we lose 7 cents on Intel, fine. We're 7 cents in the money right now. So if we're nervous about this, we could always get out. And in fact, why don't we just put a bid right here at 06? Okay, well, I just made the level. We just got hit. So there it is, man. We'll take another piece out there because, again, that 7 cent winner, our loss is going to be out at 21, which actually would be 8 cents. So take a little bit of profit there. Now we'll see if we can get that 94. And in fact, I'm going to just bid right here at 02s. We'll take out 5% more right there and see what we can do. Maybe get another piece out on Amazon. But our day is well green, and that's always good. So there it is. We'll get some more out at 108.50, 180.50 on Amazon because it is looking pretty weak. If we're able to take 25 cents real quick on that one, then let's do that as this market's coming back in pretty nicely here. I'm sure Mara is turning green for you there, so that's
it is. But I'm looking at Apple right now, as this looks like it could. I mean, right now Apple's just kind of holding VWAP. But if we wick this high again, I'm looking at the future, right? Like we're trying to wick and break these highs in an uptrend. But Apple has been holding the same resistance at 187.5, which goes right into a key close level. Back on Friday would have been the close down here. So I'm looking at it coming into this. If it wicks the top again and breaks the trend, I'll look for a short over into Apple. I mean, Uber and Palantir are kind of disappointing to me right now because they're not really setting up anything. I thought we'd get more volatility out of both of those names, and we're just not having it. So like the ideas 1 and 2 for now are out the wayside, and we have to move on to something else. So Apple, all right, it's looking like it wants to break out that top. My first thought is get more topping tail wicks in here, show the resistance, and break the trend down. But now it's just going higher and higher. So that's the plan for Apple, only if it fails that high. NVIDIA seems to really want to clear this one out here. We're not going to get 102 yet, and if we do we even want it? Got to think about at least taking a shot at a 105 breakout on NVIDIA. We liked NVIDIA for the long play today. I do think there's a lot of room for it to go, but I didn't want to take any breaks, so we'll do it on less size and a tighter-ish stop on NVIDIA. You always have to give it some room off those highs. Just to go back into MAR, like nothing's changed on MAR. It's just shorted off of VWAP, which is right around yesterday afternoon's resistance at that 1160 level. Takes them out into the 40s where we were able to get it. The market's taking out these higher days here. Looks like NVIDIA wants that 105 break. I'll take it, but I'm not a huge fan of taking breakouts in this market. So it'll be a tight stop. It got to work right away. If it's not flying to the $0.50 right away, then you know something's wrong with the break.
all right. Yeah,
Palantir is really disappointing.
all right. There it is, man. $2 now for Amazon. We just stay in the pocket, man. I mean, that's all that we do. We just, we have our ideas. We take them with confidence, and we wait. Unfortunately, though, we did get taken out right there on the top. We talked about 21s. Looks like we nailed that level exactly. That was the high. But the thing is that even as that was happening, you know, we're just letting Neil cook there a little bit. Although Mara right now, we'll have to see what's going on because Bitcoin at 80,000. Hopefully that comes to the downside for that short. But right there, $20.07. We were getting out there, and then we actually got something out as well at 13 before we got run to the upside. But here we go, man. It's Amazon. So, you know, we've now made double what we wound up losing on Intel, just on that last little play there. So it's been good for us. We did not necessarily expect Amazon to come into 180 there, but when it did, we were happy with that. And there goes the market right back there to the top side. We could have been long on the TQs as well. But after the day that we had yesterday, man, we are just super happy to be like icing on the cake today. Just calming down, making the right trades there, showing you guys, you know, what winners are all about. And that you can just be patient in the market, right? We're getting paid to get these fills. We're just sitting there, we're taking bids when they come in, and we're trading off of levels that we like. So it's pretty simple. We have Intel today, which we'll wind up down on it because we took these shorts early. We sort of talked about that. And then the only short that worked was that one. Then it came back in, and then we eventually got stopped out a little higher than where we were in, right? So not a great look on Intel for me, but we make it up in spades here with Amazon. So yeah, so far it is what it is right there for Amazon and for Intel. We will look at, I don't know, Alibaba's, right? I mean, Tesla, we had indicated that as a possible early trade. The other thing that I had on here was TQs, Amazon, Nvidia, and JP Morgan, which we have yet to look at. But I mean, I got to be happy with $2 here. I know you're just battling with a couple pennies there on Mara, which is, of course, is a different beast, but we're really happy right now with Amazon and what it's been doing here today. Again, it's our #1 trade idea on here besides the futures. The futures just didn't dip into where we thought. So let's go, man. Maybe Amazon gets back up to that 185, and then we'll be able to do that. So right here, Amazon alone gets us to our goal. But as I said, we did lose on Intel. So we need a little bit more work to be done. And then we could hang it up here for the day. We will not, of course. But so far, so good, man, as we sit here in Amazon, $2 in the money.
Here comes the break on NVIDIA. It's at 104.99, just got tagged. 105 is sitting for at least, I don't know, a couple 100,000 shares or something like that. It's quadruple topped up here, so there's obviously sellers out in front. There's some people scalping this short. You can see them stack up in the 95, 96 range as it gets up there, and they're taking it out in the 74, 75 range. Kind of a risky trade because you don't know what slippage you're going to get on the other side of it. If you see the green, that's just my order when it crosses at 105. I'm not crossing up that far. I'm only crossing to 11s because in this market, you haven't really had to cross very far recently. I'll show you what's going on. Like Mara's still holding underneath the range. I want to get filled in front of 40. I want to get filled in front of 30 as long as we continue to hold underneath 80,000 on Bitcoin, which for now is proving to be a bit of resistance. Uber is still doing nothing, doesn't want to track to that 80 level. Palantir, all right, if we pull back past 104 or 50, I don't really have to dwell on that one because we're not breaking imminently. Palantir is starting to look like if I don't take this reversion, I can't live with myself. Like how often, like if you like trends and trend reversions, well, I can't ignore this. Like look at the trend line on Palantir. And I wanted to be long this stock today, but it's been trending. So if we break this trend line, I'm just going short on Palantir. I haven't seen something like this in quite some time where you have that clean of a trend that is held as long as it has here on PLTR. So I popped it in, and this just goes from the spike at 7 a.m. when one leg of retail comes in. I know you can start much earlier than that, but it's usually when I like to start tracking it. And it's been a holding since the open. You break that trend line down, you're probably testing VWAP. So yes, it's above VWAP, but I'm still going to take it anyways if you break out that bottom. All right, here comes NVIDIA again to that 105, but just wanted to make sure you guys saw what else I'm looking at for PLTR. Right now, I think we're breaking that high. Did we break it?
Ooh-wee. Oh, yes, my friend. We broke it, and we are hella long right now. It's funny because Intel's not doing anything, but it is Amazon, so we'll fire off the hot dog gun for all you guys there that are looking at Amazon today. It is your #1 trade idea again, so we're pretty happy to have brought that to you. And again, just 3 times, man. 3 times the charm. There goes. I said, would it be nice if Amazon got to VWAP? Yes, yes, it would. And there it goes, man. Huge move up there for Amazon as we are now $2.21 in the money on that one. What's going on with why is SMR coming through again? Let me check out my guy BBAI again. We were trying to let this one just calm down a little bit. BBAI, $3 right there coming in for BBAI, Big Bear AI. All right, let's go over to my favorite stock, one of my favorite stocks anyways, Palantir, and have a quick look to see what's going on right there. Wow, nicely held, the 50-period moving average and VWAP there for Palantir. But Neil, man, we're doing it again here for everybody. It's Amazon. I know you like this stock as well, but there it goes, man. Nicely cooking now up to the upside, up 4%. Let's take out another piece right here. We're now $2.21 in the money. The important thing to everybody is, you know, thank you to Randy. We had our banana already. We peeled it from the famous bottom side of the banana. So we did that right. So we, you know, people in the chat there always want to know. And then we just hit the hydration nation. So stay hydrated, man. And if you do that, then maybe you will, you know, be able to hit some winners. So there it is. All right, now Neil's got Intel and Mara.
I that got back to the highs. So,
yeah, good luck.
Yeah, well, Intel did go back into those highs. We did wait for it. Look, Palantir is still holding exactly on trend here. So as long as it holds this trend line, I'll leave it up all day if I have to, because that's just looking incredibly good. And the higher it goes, you get a bit of a flat top. Let me just get some bids out into VWAP. Anytime I take a retracement on a stock which is trending into a day's high or whatever, morning high, whatever it might be, the pullback to VWAP is the play. So if it pulls back into VWAP, we're going to look to take some out. But as long as we get this same resistance at 85 trending back into it, all it does is potentially give you like a clean high of day out and then break of the trend, which is one of my favorite setups. There is some overhead resistance on Palantir, but it's literally $5 higher. So I don't know if you want to hold too much water with that one. Mara did, here, I'll show you Mara. Mara is still holding for it with lower highs, so that one's fine. But it's Intel screaming in, giving me my first fill in front of the high of the day. I'm in at 23, and if it breaks the high, I'm out. I don't want this thing taking out the high and fighting it too far. Let's go over to Adara for happening now.
Let's talk about what's going on right now in this market. We're actually green here. NASDAQ pushing higher on the day. A lot of catalysts as well in this tech space. All the Mag 7s nicely up on the day. Tesla recovering pretty nicely. Apple recovering nicely as well. We'll get into that in a minute. But a lot of these semiconductors really leading the way. I talked a little bit about this story on Micron, reportedly adding a tariff-related surcharge for some of its products. But Broadcom here nicely up on the day, authorizing a $10 billion buyback program. Then we have Marvell announcing that they've sold one of their auto Ethernet segments here for $2.5 billion in cash. This includes a very high-performing segment of theirs, so good look for MRVL. And last but not least, AAPL, Apple at day's highs. Wall Street Journal reporting that we have a lot of customers going to buy these iPhones right away before tariffs very likely increase the prices of the phones. Wall Street Journal separately reporting that Apple is continuing to diversify its production into India over some concerns about the trade war going on with China right now. So lots of tech names to be aware of this morning. No economic data, but Donald Trump signing energy-related executive orders at 3 p.m. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adair. Looks like we got that first fill in the teens on Intel, while Mara still, like, what is Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin, every time I look at Bitcoin, it's at the exact same price, which is not literally true, but look at IBIT right now. There's a brick wall at 45.5 right in front of that 80,000. I think it's pretty obvious. You break that out. I mean, you break that out, and this is reversing in the long side. So first things first, I'm not reloading on Mara when I see that. I think you could take out that top, and this turns into a bit of a reversal breakout trade, and you're not getting back into the lows either at this moment. So you haven't been able to take out those lows just yet. Despite the fact that it's holding weakness while the market is strong, it's just not giving you that juice to the downside. Well, sorry, to the upside, because Bitcoin is holding at 80,000 like an absolute champion. Uber is still doing absolutely nothing. But it's weird to want to be long IBIT and short Mara, but that's just what I prefer to do. If Bitcoin's going up, I want to be long that and not Mara. And if it's weak, I want to be short Mara. But I'm taking a break on Bitcoin. We're not going to get these dip buys that we wanted into prior support levels. And if that's going to be the case, you might have to just take this breakout at 80,000. It's about 45.5. I don't know if it's exact, But that's close enough for me. You can see the resistance right there. And then you have pre-market highs up there at 65, and then yesterday's highs at 46.15. So about 1.5 points of room to go.
Muted might be good for a lot of people. We got our Yeti there. We want to thank Randy again. We got more hydration there. All right, 183 now for Amazon. Was the only position that we're in, and we're pretty comfortable with that. Let's have a quick look now. I mean, we're almost. That's right. This is how we do it, man. From the streets of Compton today. Joe recognizing the Cholo look here today, so respect.
It's the dude from Training Day, I think. That's the dude I think of.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is what we're doing, right? We're sitting here, we're enjoying life. We are loving life right now. If you're looking for fun times, great. Oh, you're out of Intel there? Okay, I was just going to look to see where your stop was going to be on that one.
Always high a day.
Yeah.
I never, look at you, you'll know this about me. I am never letting a stock trending up get through the fresh high a day. Because you can't be afraid to get back in, but I'm not letting it run my stop. I'm not averaging into it. I'm not fighting something that looks that incredibly strong. We are just gonna get it back over to IBIT because IBIT seems like it wants to break imminently here, and we're still gonna take that breakout of 80,000. Which we just broke, and I didn't. Oh, I did get the fill. Okay, so we did get filled. That was just a little bit of a slow message there. So Bitcoin has broken 80,000. IBIT's broken the 45.5. First stop, look at the high of the day. Second stop, every 25 pennies or so till we get to yesterday's. I'm calling it the squeeze high. The squeeze high at 46.16. I think that worked out to like 81 something on Bitcoin. Didn't really check it exactly, but Bitcoin starting to rally back into the highs. Just moved to 59 from 60s and see if we can't get our first fill. Oddly enough, Mara didn't stop out when that happened, so why didn't Mara stop out? I mean, Mara, I'm not reloading Mara here, but it's like 3 cents away from the stop. It just hasn't actually broken out the stop yet. So I'm not moving the stop, and I'm not reloading Mara because we're long in Bitcoin.
Yeah, real tough day for the shorts today. So again, like I'd sort of thought that maybe we would have that pullback. I mean, we had written that down, but this is how you stay fluid, right? I mean, even though we had thought that there could have been a pullback, as Neil mentioned, man, we had only had one other trade today. It was Intel. We got out of that one. Easy day getting out of it. I mean, it broke, like I said, broke where we were in. And then there goes the high of the day as well. So, yeah, but, the day is really being helped out here, obviously, with this trade on Amazon. If there's anything else you guys want me to look at, I could do that for sure. All right, so how high up are we? All right, where's Mara? Because that's also flashing on my screen. So we can see if there's anything going on with Mara right now. Yeah, so underneath
still
VWAP.
Weak.
I mean, I like the short here. So
it still looks good.
Yeah.
It's just weird to be long Bitcoin and short Mara, but the trade is still setting up.
Yeah, the trade. Yeah, Mara's been so beat up there, under $12. Looks good for Mara. Yeah, tomorrow is definitely, I would say tomorrow is going to be a short day, but that's tomorrow, right? I have no idea if that's even going to be true or not. So, yeah, we'll get that going. Please look at FOXO, says Unique Trading Group. You don't have to tell that to Bears versus Bulls. You tagged me, so that's okay. FOXO. Let's have a look on this one. Foxo Technologies. All right, so you want me to talk about this. 60 million shares there today with a nice little bump upside into 20 cents, and then now this fade that's come back in a little bit into 12 cents. So I don't know enough about this Unique Trading Group to actually, make too much of a comment, but yeah, 57 million shares. If you are on a prop floor, watch out for some of this size. You can trade inside of these pennies, and yeah, it could be a good trade there. FOXO. Check that out for yourselves. Here we go, man. Let's have a look at what I'm looking at today. This is my watch list. Again, TQQ's up 46.20 right now, up 12%. These are just the 2x, 3x. So Broadcom, they're up 9. That's clean. Palantir. Let's go. Can't believe we had 70 yesterday. $85, up 9%. Shopify. 8%. It's been beat up though. ARM 7%, NVIDIA 8% for NVIDIA, ARM 7, Affirm 7%, Netflix, man, the streaming monster up to 916, 6%, Micron, SMR, my boy, what up, Jeremy, as JP Morgan goes to the upside. Good shout out to our friend, of course, Sharif, Jamie Dimon, nice move there. Tesla up 6% today. So, oh boy, that 220 looks to be pretty good. Robinhood as well. So on that note, what are the stocks that are down? How about absolutely none that we look at today are in the red? If it is maybe something, it would be Occidental. So that's the only name that I have that I look at that is in the red. So today might be a good day to look at the portfolio, but I am still not doing that.
Chinese
But Neil,
names are weak.
what up, Ozan? All right, there it is, man. Amazon now up a smooth $3. Over to you.
No, Chinese names are still relatively weak as far as I can see. It's going to be weird to be short one, long the other, but as long as it sets up, you just have to take the trade. So simple trend from IBIT, we took a quarter out, and we're going to load back into a quarter if it closes above the trend line. If it breaks trend, I'm out. And as long as we hold this 1165-ish over here on Mara, then we're going to continue into the short and give our bids out into those 40s and 30s. It's just still setting up, right? So what are you going to do? Like, if I like Mara short and it's still putting in lower highs, then I should still be in the name. But IBIT's going. I do have more IBIT than I have Mara because the trend is long in the market as everybody can see here. The trend is upside. So I'm going to have more of IBIT than I'm going to have of Mara in a general sense. The other thing pay attention to is the market is breaking fresh highs. And I know this is counter trend, but Palantir is, every time I see the market take a high, Palantir seems to be pulling back from that high. So I'm still taking this trend break on Palantir. And it's about as long as I've ever seen from the pre-market and so decidedly clean to the upside. And while the market is super strong, it's 9% already on PLTR. And this, it's not at $90, which we would have liked, but it is pretty much dead on the next resistance level here up at like 85.7. I am taking this break of the trend line short. I think that's the next thing that comes in for me here. We thought we'd be trading Palantir long, but when I sat down, Palantir was trading at $80. It's distinctly different now. So it's got to be ready. It's one of those names where if it does lose the bid, it could be down $1 really quick, and I don't want to miss the punch. So we're going to be ready for this one if it breaks the trend line. I'm just drawing it on a 3-minute from 7 o'clock. It shouldn't be that hard to find a line of best fit, and it'll likely be pretty obvious if it does fade off of that. Mara just filled once underneath that VWAP there and is trying to hold on for dear life. And as I said with Intel, I'll get out, but I'll try to jump back in. That was fast on Intel. Still looking weak, but I don't chase a move like this. You either get right back in, you don't want to get caught then shorting at the bottom. That's a dangerous game. Just because you get that FOMO, because you took a hit on something, well, it really wasn't that much of a hit, but you get a loss on it, and you have an idea that you might want to chase it because you feel like you should be into it. Not going to short at VWAP. Still feel like that bigger trade is going to be Palantir. I see Tesla with a double top, but it's just a cleaner, not talking to Alan here, but it's just Palantir, which is a little cleaner for me. Tesla double top, overhead resistance, but as far as the setup goes, this one is the most extended, so this is the one that I want to try to grab the reversion on. You want a mean reversion on a stock which is moving a lot or has a very long, distinct trend line.
Yeah, that's all we do is trend trade. We trade on... Yeah, Palantir is impressive, Neil, but I don't know if you've seen Amazon. Right here, $3 now and 25 cents in the money. So this has been a very, very good day for, again, a name that we both like. We both like Amazon here for the long term as well. And today it just came right in, man. It came right into the 200 period moving average. And there it goes, 184. I mean, we could get another piece out on the upside there. We still have about 20%. So we're still doing pretty good here, holding on to Amazon and just like, again, trading what we want to trade and being comfortable with it. bit and putting up those numbers. So we now are at day goal, so that's good. At least it started to go back up to the upside. You know, we don't win on all the trades, obviously, and we did talk about my loser today is going to be Intel. So there it is right there. We wound up taking a hit on INTC. And again, you know, we should have probably been looking at that pre-market high there to be able to get something out. Fortunately, we didn't do that. Get more in, I mean. Fortunately, we didn't do that. We should have, and now it's all the way back in. So not great there for me on Intel. We'll try to trade that a little bit better. But like I said, we are up almost, well, we're up 3x or so on Amazon than what we made on Intel. So today, as Ice Cube said, today is a good day. One more time, so we'll wait for that one. How many daily goals yesterday? 15, I think, or so yesterday. So, but that was yesterday. And we'll just look out for today. I mean, I just hope that everybody is comfortable with, you know, the stocks and the trades that we've been looking at, right? I mean, it's up to everybody else to figure out what levels they're looking at. I'm thinking, again, it's really great to have, wow, there, okay, so we just got some more Amazon there. That was good. It's really good to see, sorry, what was I looking at here? The bank stocks holding out, okay? Because we got absolutely, and we had recently bought JP Morgan here at 230, and it went all the way up to 250, and we didn't even get out because I was waiting. I mean, again, to know that that was going to happen, we should have known that there was obviously tariff risk in the trade, which is why I thought we got this great price down there that I wanted to hold for earnings. Looks like now I don't have too much of a choice. We could get out now for virtually flat, take advantage of that because we were down to $200 yesterday, up to 6% today, plus what we did yesterday. The other name that I like from valuation standpoint, I don't know too much about the U.S. banks down there, but you know, I've traded enough of them to know, you know, how they kind of move around. I do like Wells Fargo. I think that down here, just reading some reports in the banks, you know, Wells Fargo, yeah, they're all on Friday. So I believe it's Wells Fargo, Goldman, and JP Morgan maybe to start off with. But yeah, man, so far so good here as we just look at, you know, again, Nielsen, IBIT, and Mara. I hope those work out well for you.
Well, we'll hold the one that works and get out of the one that doesn't, which is completely inevitable when you're trading two crypto names. But you know what, everybody? There's a new discovery on the NASDAQ. That looks like winter weather like we're having here. And that's WKSP, Worksport. They're a US-based manufacturer and rapidly expanding with growing revenues, government contracts, and innovative green energy products designed to power your life off the grid. Whether you're on the move or seeking sustainable energy solutions, Worksport's got you covered. Now trading on the NASDAQ under WKSP, discover the future of clean energy with Worksport. And I feel like clean energy is one of those places that people want to be. But remember I said like 2 seconds ago, 30 seconds ago, I should say, Mara, we would take as long as it's set up underneath the volume weighted average price, underneath that resistance from yesterday, that we're going to jump into it short. Every time it breaks out to stop, we're going to get out. Always try to keep them manageable. You just want to make sure that when you win on a stock relative to when you lose on a stock, that is in check. Right? So I'm not going to want to take 3-4x losses on this thing. If it holds, it comes back in and holds trend under VWAP, there's always the rest of the day to get back into it. Just going to slide on over. Uber still not giving you much of anything into this upside move. And PLTR, which I still think is going to be the biggest percentage move, it is the biggest percentage mover on my watch list today, is still holding on to this trend line. But the extension, you have multiple bars over the prior high, and we're only now breaking out the high. So it's still, to me, setting up for this trend reversal. I'm not chasing this move up on Palantir. Let me just double check. IBIT, we're on the offer pretty much right here. We're offering into the highs. Bitcoin's only at 80,000, like 100. So it's not really breaking away from the 80,000 yet. And if you get to 81, you've got overhead resistance. So we're starting to get back out into the high of the day on IBIT and no change of action on Palantir. I'm still hunting for that trend reversal as the market screams higher highs and higher lows all the way through. Oleg saying Grab instead of Uber. Never really traded Grab. But Uber is the one that we're paying attention to. It was just relatively strong all day long. all you're getting is no pullback into the prior high, which I like 67.5. And for every trader, it's going to be different. Like, I'm not really into longing 68.5 and then trying to cover it at 67.5, where I'd have to put a stop way down there. That's giving 2% risk on Uber, which I'm not sure when it's already up at that time, it would be up 4%, that I want to take that kind of a shot on Uber. So, you know, it's way too far away from the levels I liked. It was that move in the pre-market, I think, that got you to set upside. So I'm not going to chase it on Uber. We'll reload as we just got another pop into the high on IBIT. So every time it comes back in a trend, we're just going to reload it. Let me zoom it in. There you go. So every time it comes back in and holds a trend line, we're just going to reload this trade, which corresponds with VWAP. Just a coincidence that it's corresponding with VWAP.
All right. Yeah, we're still doing the same stuff over here.
44.
If there's anybody else, you guys, if there's any names you guys want me to look at, I mean, I can look at Rivian here for you. It's 10:20. We will have a segment coming up for you. What's for lunch? So get ready for that one, and you'll be able to see there. Look at Rivian, man. Wow, nice move. Up 8% today. Goes Rivian right there again. So nice move for Rivian. Again, if anybody is looking at this name, congratulations. You nailed it. RIVN today. Nice moves higher right now for Rivian. We can check out if that's happening all over the place. We can check out Tesla, up 7%, TSLA. You want to talk about a name that is also working there today, Tesla. So look, man, I know it's been a rough, okay, Dara has news, so let's go over to Adara.
I have news and I have small caps. I'll go over here. RH on watch. Marjorie Taylor Greene reportedly disclosing a new stock purchase, which includes the purchase of some RH. Keep an eye as well here. We'll go move over to small caps. We have SXTP. This is 60 Degrees Pharmaceutical. This one pushing to the upside this morning. Mentioned a little bit earlier today, working in collaboration with Yale with regards to the commercialization of one of its drugs. So SXTP with about a 1.3 million share float, going to be on watch here. Then there's NAOV. This one has about a 300,000 share float. This one you can find out more about in our watch list this morning. Nano Vibronics. And last but not least, ACHR. This one's a little bit larger, Archer Aviation, but on watch, up on the day here with a 13.8% short float. Again, keep an eye on RH with a stock purchase disclosed by Marjorie Taylor Greene. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. Intel's back to that high of the day where we got stopped out on our first short. It did eventually get to VWAP, so I'll look for the same sort of fail break of yesterday's, pre-market highs into yesterday's high, which I think can be another trade in there. I do have 21 marked off on the off chance Intel gets that strong. I don't think it's going to, but if it does, then for sure I'm going to take it at that price. All right, if it breaks this high, I'm looking for a topping tail candle and then like a reversion back into VWAP. Ideally, it fails right at 40 and you have it in the mid 30s and then back in gives you about 1.5% down into VWAP. So that's what we're looking for in Intel. Don't want to push that long button on INTC. And as you look over, well, sorry, as I look over, I should say, what's going on with AMD as well? This one's powering and motoring to the upside. I kind of felt this would be Marvell today, and Marvell doesn't want to break any of those highs. Marvell never did anything resembling the dip buy that we wanted. Just feels like it has a lot of room to still go here. Gonna back away from what I would usually say about AMD is I'd want to short it. But I'm thinking if I want to be long Marvell and it's doing like a perfect bull flag with VWAP here at 55, then attempting to get in here on the top of that flag at the support level is going to make some sense. It's lining up with yesterday's highs as well. If I can't be long 50, which obviously we can't be long 50 when it's at 55, the next best thing would be to buy the support here in MRVL. Up 9%, check that, up 10% on the day. Absolute rocket ship to the upside. I just feel like it's got a little bit more room when you look at that daily chart, so I'm going to get my stop in. Didn't really think this is one that we'd be chasing this high up, but the market does some funny things here, for sure. All right, Intel, this is your one chance.
Yeah, I was looking at the same thing there, maybe to short that name.
Well, it's wicking the high right now. It just has to close underneath that top.
Okay, you look, we're almost out, man. We have about 12 or 13% left of Amazon, so we'll hopefully be able to see, just get that ready to go there, be able to see if it wants to go higher, man. I mean, I'm thinking about maybe dropping out of this one if it breaks through 182.50. I'm going to put out another out right here at 19s. I don't know, I just push off or enter. Let's change that. Let's go to 12s. There we go. We get to 12s. Oh, we get to 12s and the 19s. Okay, so we're getting less and less position. Now we have 10% left, or so actually maybe a little bit under 10% now for Amazon, as there it goes, ripping up there to the high side. So I know it's been a rough day for some symbols, but we're just sitting on Amazon. So that's the only one there for me today. XO, well, and Intel, right? We already talked about taking the L there on Intel. We'll get back in that most likely. All right, so IBIT, sorry, not IBIT, XOM. Neil's on IBIT, so I'll leave that alone. I know that's not going anywhere too much, but we'll wait to see what happens with Bitcoin, because I was looking there, 17.7. So right now, Neil in IBIT, but I'm looking at XOM. It's just come right back into VWAP right now. So this is what I'm doing, man. You can see I've only traded 2 symbols here today. I know Neil's traded 4. So we'll just wait to see here if there's going to be anything else that's coming through. The one thing we do want to tell you, and Neil will get back to his IBIT trade in just a second, but trade the pool isn't just a new option for trading. It's a new mindset, of course. Forget the old rule book where big trades meant big risk. No more, everybody. You can trade with massive capital and only put down $47 to get started. Your loss is capped. Your profits, of course, are unlimited. This is about breaking barriers, not your bank account. So if you're ready to trade big without the usual fear of losing all, head to tradethepool.com today. We want to thank Trade the Pool and thank Mitch for coming through again as well. All right, Neil, IBIT, how that's going, and I see that you're in Intel.
Well, Intel did that topping tail wick that we mentioned. It broke, it got to 40, it held 40, so we're into it. We actually got 29s. I tried to hit 30s and we got 29s. Doesn't really matter. But I told you guys, if we break this trend on IBIT, I know I'm going to look at MAR and MAR is going to be down. That said, the market was in an upward trend. We're playing into that trend. And the one thing I want to sort of stress, if taking bids at 40 and giving it to like 25, which is all right. When we got filled at 27, we're letting it break that 29. You're risking anywhere from 10 to 15 cents. So note that as it pops up, not getting profit until it gets into that range. That way, and I'm only taking 20% out. Because if I'm taking a bunch out into that high, let's just say 70, 80%, then I'm only making 7, 8 cents on 7, 80%, I'm risking 10 to 15. That's a case where you let it try to go. Because yes, I could have scalped into the high of the day and been up on it IBIT easily. But then risk to reward wouldn't be very good. I know we'll look over at Mara and you'll see that it failed again. We'll be flat-ish on MAR. I paid fees on MAR effectively. Gross flat on it because I have a bunch of executions. And I wasn't adding liquidity on the way in. Sometimes I was getting it on the way out, but a lot of times I was punching on the way down, so I was paying fees on MAR. We'll be flat on it. But it is still trending to the downside and looks relatively weak. If we do not hold these highs, I will jump back over to it. But the newest trade is Intel, and we're right back into the same one off the same high, looking for a VWAP retracement just like before. And I'm still sticking with Palantir as a mean reversion trade. This is one I might wait, and I said this before, I'll wait all day for Palantir on this trend break because I just think it's worth it. It's not often that you see, like I just don't see it. It's now $7 from the start of the trend line to the high of day right now, and if it breaks a trend, that's underneath 85. Like there's so much room in terms of a gap here for Palantir that this is just one that I want to track into. We're just sort of generally non-linearly going upside. That's the best way I want to put it. No parabolic moves just yet. So there's no reason to short this name unless it goes parabolic into 90 or breaks this trend back in. And it's not touching the bottom of the trend line since 950 to give you any traditional long entries either.
All right, what's up, everybody? Yeah, look, I mean, there's some people in the chat there. Look, not every day is going to be an easy day, right? I mean, we're putting on trades. Sometimes we'll lose, sometimes we'll win. You can't you know, don't judge necessarily a book by its cover. That's why we want you to come back every single day, right? And it's not like that, you know, I've got the winners, I've got the losers, Neil's got the winners, Neil's got the losers. We're just sitting here trying to show it to you. And yeah, some days, obviously, you know, there won't be too many trades that work out, and hopefully some days there are lots of trades that work out for us. And we just hope that you guys are here every day so you can experience this with us. So there it is, man. Yeah, look, I mean, I'll take the role of entertainer, trader, everything all in one, man. But the one thing I'm doing is just trying to be me, right? And trying to be natural and showing you guys the winners and the losers that I'm able to have, right? And again, like if I'm in Amazon, I'm going to talk about it. And if I'm in Intel, we're going to talk about it. Any trade that I'm in, whether or not a loser or a winner, we're going to talk about it. And I'll even tell you, I've traded 2 symbols today. You can ask me at any time in the chat if I'm green, red, what's going on with the symbols we've traded. I mean, that's exactly what we do here on the show. Is we post up our positions. We'll tell you if we're up, down, whatever, right? Like there's Neil in Intel.
We're getting some headlines.
I'm in Amazon. So yeah, I guess there's some headlines there. I don't know what.
I just heard something from the U.S. trade representative. I couldn't hear it, but the U.S. trade representative is talking right now, and there was just a spike in a bunch of names. But then I'm hearing Greer say higher reciprocal tariffs will go into effect tomorrow, which would seem like bearish, but then there was a spike upside when he was talking.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Upside spike. Okay, so we'll wait for that one. We want some upside spikes here if the market wants to go, because again, we of course are long. We're only long one name right now. All right, Neil's been trading this a lot today. I know it's been a little difficult. It's crypto though, as Bitcoin just not moving. Let's see if there's a story here about what's going on with BTC at 79.6 right now.
There actually is a crypto story, Trump, just, not Sean, sorry, listening right now to, I'm sorry guys, it's been quite the morning. We're listening right now to USTR Representative Jameson Greer talking about trade. I am listening to this right now. He hasn't said anything super of note here, said they are going to be doing these tariffs. He did confirm tariffs will happening, that the higher reciprocal tariffs will go into effect tomorrow. So that's the confirmation there that we got from Greer. Now let's take a look here at BTC, because there was a story here and it was on our watch list this morning as well. So around 8 a.m., a memo from the U.S. Justice Department was released, and it basically said they are disbanding their cryptocurrency task force. The Justice Department is instructing federal prosecutors to stop targeting virtual crypto exchanges and wallets, though they are still allowed to target crypto-related crimes if they are related to larger cases. So for example, organized crime or terrorist activities. So crypto, I guess the overall crypto task force, though, being disbanded for things like crypto agencies, are no longer going to be going to go after these exchanges, and they're no longer going to be going after wallets unless there's a larger crime in watch. So that's the story there for BTC. Right now, though, basically flat here on the day and making a slightly higher low than what we went into yesterday. Let's take a look at some of these crypto markets. Bitcoin around that 79,000 level. Ethereum basically flat here on the day. XRP up 2%. BNB up 1.5%. Solana, Tron, Doge all up around 4%, Cardano up about 6%. So most of these names slightly up on the day, but Ethereum a little bit flatter here. Same with Bitcoin. Back to you.
Yeah, well, ETH's been an absolute dog. No questions asked. That's been an absolute bear. But you know what? No, Bitcoin is moving. You can't say, I know it's flat percentage basis, but you can't really say it's going sideways, because since it broke trend, it spent the entire morning effectively trying to do like this 1%, and it just took it to the downside. Like if you try to fight it, instead of losing like 15 pennies, like you could be out, like right now you'd be out, I don't know, like 40, so like 3x. It's moving. It absolutely is moving to the downside. Like we're breaking the lows when you're still trending up on the NASDAQ. I just started to get some out of Intel. I keep looking up at Palantir. And yes, I am looking for that trend break on Palantir still, as Intel's working back into VWAP, covering in front of VWAP. If it breaks trend down, it's like a separate trade for me, meaning I'd want to, it's almost like think of two things at once. If it breaks the trend, I want to go short, like add to it and then reprice and stop, no longer give it to the high of the day. So I'm still looking short on this name. It's been holding out as relatively weak for a long time, but today was more about market making continual highs. It's making the same high. So anytime I see that, I still think it's valid for a short trade, especially on that trend reversal. It's kind of why I'm looking at Palantir. At this point, we've seen this market reverse in the past, and I think there's a decent chance that if it does, you're going to get some pretty good momentum breaks. It's the early longs. If anybody's long Palantir from the pre-market, I got to imagine they're going to want to take profit if we break this trend line in. So Intel's starting to work back into VWAP. I only took 20% out, but we're getting more on the way. We'll be out half if it gets to VWAP. If it breaks trend, we'll look to add more so long as it's a clean trend break. Don't want to chase anything too far and get out of the pocket. Not on this morning. There still hasn't been that rip your face off parabolic move in either direction yet. And maybe we don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get. I don't think we'll get that for a minute. I think we need a couple more days of just kind of sideways. Like, it's not sideways today. I mean, you're up 4%. I mean, we're up since we sat down here at 8:30. It's up 1.5%. We were up 2.5%. So now you're up 4.15%. Yeah, man. I mean, again, thank you everybody for all the talk in the chat, and you know, we really just do appreciate everybody coming through. We do have the big man Sharif and Joseph coming through with you guys at 11 o'clock. So just in 1/2 hour, you will see these guys, and that should be a lot of fun. I'm sure there'll be some gym talk. I'm sure there'll be some looking at the chat, and hopefully some winning trades. I'm only 1 for 2 here today, and as Neil says, obviously we are in the pocket right there as well. But I don't have a problem telling you when we're having a big day or a bad day, right? I mean, yesterday was a good day, Friday was not a good day, and today's a good day. So I keep saying I'm green today. Well, like I said, you guys can ask us whatever you guys want. No pie ever for Joe, apparently, and we have to believe it. But I think he's had cookies before. Have you had chocolate chip? Yeah.
Of course he has.
He's thinking about it.
Of course he's had
It's not, of course, my guy, because I would have thought, of course, pie.
Yeah.
But there we go. So, anyways, yeah. Oh, yeah, he's had cookies before. There's no doubt about that. And I also think he's had pie before as well. So,
I find that
the day I meet your parents, my guy, I'm
skeptical of
debunking
that.
this one.
No, I understand if you don't like pie, or maybe you don't have it very often. But if you tell me as a grown North American, you've never eaten pie once, I find that a little bit hard to believe. That said, you're Jamaican. Jamaicans aren't. Look, in the West Indies, you don't eat pie in the West Indies. Like you eat cake. Like it's more of a cake than pie thing. But let's not pretend that we're not in Canada right now. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we don't, the good thing about this show is we don't pretend anything. You know, these are our trades, man. We see what we see right here, and you guys are going to get ready for, again, one more of a big day coming on the Midday show, and we're really happy to have that one. But the thing that a lot of people want to know is what's for lunch. So let's address that. By the way, Amazon just comes up. What's up, Randy? Amazon just comes up. We get another fill right there as we props it up to everybody trading with us here today. Been a successful day over here, but what's for lunch is interesting. Today is Tuesday, April the 8th. So I say a happy anniversary to my parents. So that's the first thing right there. We say a big happy anniversary to them. Married in 1972. So you could figure that one out right there. I know I don't look that old, but okay. So today, Kerala beef curry. Kerala beef curry, Kerala. Never had that one before. Cumin basmati rice, okay, so yeah, I was gonna say, so it must be an Indian dish here, as we got the basmati rice, cumin basmati rice, with cabbage and carrot, thoron, and is that cucumber salad? I don't know. So it's going to be an exciting day. Needless to say here, maybe we'll take a picture of that. I'll bring it on maybe the Midday there. Kerala beef curry. So
I just looked it up. We've had
shout out. Yeah, I'm sure we've probably had it before. Shout out to the catering company here. Always doing something unique. That is, hey, Randy. Oh,
does he wear
elbows up.
A Bass Pro Sports or Bass Pro Shops hat? Is that what the guy that brings the catering in the morning?
I don't. Maybe. I'm not sure.
I'd swear, I was giving him the nod as he was leaving. I'm like, hey, what's up? And I'd swear he's got like a Bass Pro Shops, which is just a little bit weird.
Yeah, maybe.
He might have. That does look delicious.
Yeah. Core weave. Okay, yeah, another name.
this is what it looks like. I just kind of looked it up here. I should have ad blocker on this.
Yeah, that looks good.
That looks absolutely delicious. Our salad
Hopefully we don't have chicken on our salad because that chicken is
100% we're going to have chicken on the salad. 95%. Never speak in certainties, but I'd say like 90 to 95%. We've been getting chicken breast every single day. That's why. That's the only reason I
Look
say
at
it.
Amazon.
All right, so now we're starting to, this is what, the market is going higher, and two things are happening. One, Intel's pulling back into VWAP, and two, every time I look over and we make another press at the high, Palantir for some reason just isn't really going anymore. So gonna keep it locked. I said I might have to wait for this one all day long for Palantir to break trend. It's testing trend at 85 potentially in a couple minutes. I got one more bid on Intel in front of VWAP, and then we let it fly. This also has a trend break as well. When you look over at this relative to the strongest chip name, which is AMD, very distinct difference. Like AMD is a rocket here and up 5.5%. But Intel never broke that high and held above it, so we jump right back into the short trade. It's got to be able to stick in the pocket. Ryan Phillippe said short Tesla. Didn't come in wanting to short Tesla. Wasn't part of the plan. You're probably looking at this level and saying, yeah, why not? 252. That 248. It does look like a good setup, but I'd rather be short something which couldn't get through its high this morning as opposed to one which has just been making higher high after higher high after higher high and trending up the way that Tesla has.
All right, what's everybody else doing for lunch? All right, I'm actually going to go over there and see if I can trade Palantir here a little bit because, yeah, I am getting a little bit of, I mean, it's fun to watch Amazon do this. I mean, we're 250 in the money, and I think this is the trading that I want to do anyways. So the only time we should have been buying is right here on the 50-period moving average, and it looks like it's doing it again right now. So you do have this dip opportunity here at 85 right now for Palantir. So a pull back in to 85 might be good to go on PLTR right there. So yeah, let's look at something else. I don't even know if my scanner is working. 1036, yeah, it is, okay. SMR, yeah, I was looking at, oh, okay, what's up, Anil? All right, Sean, it's pronounced Kirala. Okay, what's up, Kirala? We like Kirala. Thank you for confirming that, my guy. Yeah. Okay, so, all right, oh, we have e-signal ad read? All right, then let's do it, man. We do this natural, au natural. Make sure that everybody, is it now, Ramin? Okay, we'll do it in a couple seconds. But yeah, anyways, just keep on trucking. We did get some out there on Amazon. We are waiting for the Qs. We did talk about that missed opportunity on, of course, the Qs, where we had these dip buy opportunities into the 50-period moving average. You are now up 4.25 percentage points right now. And look, man, we said this. I want to say thank you to Ramin as well, because I feel like Ramin's told me this before. When you're at the top of the mountain, all you do is look down. And I really think that, you know, as a program, all of that as well as some of these trades that we've put on, like, thank you so much. You've now found the top of the mountain here with Trader TV Live. So just keep on those good vibes. And I'll thank Ramin to that, because I've really used that as a mentality for my trading as well. Like, I just do me, and you guys can see that that's really working out so far. And I want to thank a big shout out to Ramin, doing much more than simply flipping those buttons, because again, we talk about trading being a mental game, and you definitely need that strength, especially when you sit here every day and have the gun turned at you. I mean, just ask us how we're doing, and you'll see, man, this is a very, very fragile thing here trading. Some days you get it, some days you don't. We want to appreciate everybody for joining us. We've had one of the best marches. I mean, you know, and then yesterday was huge as well. So thank you so much for everybody for joining us. And if a tree falls and nobody's there in the forest, does it make a sound? E-signal right now. Thank you so much. Grab that. Sign up today. It is completely free for your first month. Grab whatever entitlements are necessary for you to have the success that you are looking for. It is e-signal. Connect to over 50 plus brokers. We'd like to thank e-signal for continuously supporting Trader TV Live. World-class charts, world-class customer service, indicators galore. every single thing you could think of available in eSignal. We talked about the options chain with Joey Options over there. You know, everything available with eSignal. Take advantage of that offer. We are very proud to have delivered that to you as well. So, you know, again, just really good vibes here. And just continued goodness, right? We are having major changes coming soon, and we're really happy to be able to show you all of that. And believe me, I am thrilled with what's about to happen around here as far as change of pace. So go ahead with eSignal. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say that. Sorry. I thought I could sneak a melon in while you were finishing up there.
Yeah, no
problem. No, the number, now it's not there anymore, but the number one on my trade rate was a stock we hadn't even looked at and was going to be Alphabet. I'll get to Alphabet in a quick little second. Actually, it just popped up. Now I'm seeing NVIDIA and AMD, and Amazon, which has been normal for this morning. But Alphabet, which we hadn't talked about, just popped up. But you're now on the trend. I got that fill in front of VWAP on Intel, and we just broke the trend line on Palantir as we are going to already sector watch. So Palantir is breaking this trend from 7 a.m. and we're going to see what sectors are weak, strong, probably strong. I hope oil is doing well because I want to dip by CVX.
We still have this Senate committee hearing right now with USTR Representative Jameson Greer happening right now. I'm listening to this. Basically, he said that the best way that countries can either have pricing certainty or avoid impacts of tariffs is to build products in the U.S. But he also said that the price challenge from Trump's tariffs will most greatly affect companies that are largely dependent on Chinese and Asian imports. So retail names did take a little bit of a dip on that move, something to be aware of that just came out now. Now let's take a look here at the sector board, which is very green, a nice surprise. It's been a while since we've seen this. Technology services nicely up on the day. Meta leading the pack, but Netflix, Microsoft, Google all really strong. Apple and NVIDIA, really good look here in electronic technology. But we also have Broadcom up 8% after announcing a $10 billion buyback program. Finance, which really led that push to the downside, largely to the upside today. JPM and Berkshire Hathaway, the two largest names in the sector, both up about 5%. Retail trade, great look across the board. Health technology actually doing pretty well here, though some names like AbbVie and Merck are a little bit more muted. Consumer non-durables, great look. Consumer services, utilities, commercial services, producer manufacturing, etc., all strong. But watch out for energy minerals around 3 p.m. That's when Donald Trump's going to be signing some energy-related executive orders about as part of his Unleashing American Energy event. Back to you.
Unleashing American Energy. So I like American Energy. We're invested pretty decently in Chevron. I'm looking to add to that position. Palantir broke that trend line, so we got into Palantir. The crazy thing about it, and anytime this happens, never take a full position in because it didn't close underneath the trend line when it broke. So I need it. It only closed down here at 84.5. It closed beneath the trend line. Why am I bidding there? I want to bid view up. So it only closed down here underneath the trend, and that's a good 50-cent move. So I'll let it bounce, and if this closes holding underneath 85, then we add to that position. If it doesn't, then we don't. While that was going on, Intel broke volume weighted average price and bounced off 20 exactly. 20.01 buyers on Intel, so covering in front of 20 instead of VWAP makes sense because that's where the buying has stepped into this one. I don't know if we'll get another shot at that high of the day, but this also broke the trend. That if it holds under VWAP, I want to look for a place to potentially add here. You got to remember the market's still trying to go higher. So yes, this finally held the highs, breaking lower, but the market's still overall trending up, and you got to be careful fighting this a little bit too much there, guys. So we're Intel working, obviously, and Palantir, the condition, as I said before, we close this bar underneath the trend line, then I can add in. Otherwise, it's quick in and quick out. My stop is above this prior bar high. Always a prior bar high on Palantir. So we don't get full in because it didn't close underneath the trend line. That's always a condition of a trend trade for me. I'll take the break, but never going to go all in there on PLTR. And that's just something you always have to figure out your own strategy. Like anything, like the biggest loss I had today was IBIT. Well, that's less than our one shot on, we had a reversion on Amazon yesterday. And that's all that really matters. Like what are you winning versus what you're losing on an individual trade? It can be an A+ setup if it closes underneath clean, but if it doesn't, that's more like a B. It's a B if it breaks and doesn't give you the consolidation under here to then grab the short. Still a possibility that happens, but I need this 3-minute bar to close to confirm that break of the trend. There's plenty of wicks where it's breaking the trend line and then coming right back up. You want that one where it holds underneath and then you get the continuation down.
Yeah, tough one there on Palantir because, yeah, now it's right back. So I'm going to just do what I'm doing today, man, and that is stay here. There's only 13 minutes left. If anything, I'd be buying this dip right there on VWAP. So, yeah, tough one at these levels, man. It's 1040, not 1047 right now. And as Neil said, might be a rough day today, but, you know, yesterday, actually, today's been okay. It's just been more trendy. Like yesterday, we had that fake news that happened right away at 9:45 that really gave the longs some love right there. Okay, now we're underneath the 50-period moving average here. Maybe the futures do consider going down a little bit. Why don't we now, for myself, look to take the short here in Palantir? I know, oh, that's too bad, man, because now it's all the way back down.
It just closed underneath, so therefore it now fits the parameters of the trade.
Okay, good. So that's the other thing too, right? I mean, Neil looks at his P&L all the time and knows that the strategies are working. So if you, if you guys want to take those trades, that is good for me. I'm going to do this 50 period right now. There it is. So now we're short on Palantir. Let's see where we can go. My stop's going to be, I think, similar to where yours was. If we do break the 50-period moving average.
High for me.
Yeah, okay, so I won't do that. I'm going to do the 50-period moving average because that's been what's working. So we'll wait to see down here, 84.60 coming into play. Hopefully we can get that to the downside right now with PLTR. Hey, man, a win is a win. We'll see if we can have another one here with PLTR, but we have been getting out. What was that, Ramin? Was that something? Yeah, okay, so that's a minute there. There goes Palantir right now. There it is, Neil. Boom, there's 16 cents. So we'll take a little bit out right there on Palantir, put another little feather in our cap. Again, I told you it was tricky up at these levels. We're scalping now. Let's see if it can work out. It's 10:49 now, so we do get ready for money talks with Adara, but it's early because she has, once again, important breaking news.
Money does talk, but so do representatives from the Trump administration when it comes to trade. We're going to talk right now about these comments still coming through from U.S. Trade Representative Jamison Greer here. He is still doing this testimony before the Senate panel, with regards to Trump's trade policy. When asked about exemptions, he said that Donald Trump and the administrations will not be giving exemptions because it would be like Swiss cheese and take away from the point they're trying to make about the trade surplus and deficit. So that's coming out here. No exemptions is what we're expecting right now for these trade policies, according to the U.S. Trade Representative. Now, let's take a look here at this U.S. dollar, poised to actually break its 2-day winning streak as it comes into a little bit of an area of resistance. Previous support, that was a little bit of a base that we found here a couple times in early to mid-March here around that 103.25 level, currently trading around 103.3, but a little bit red on the day is the U.S. dollar. Now, I want to talk about this Fed Watch tool. One of the things that I think is pretty interesting about the Fed Watch tool I want to mention is you can actually see how the rate we have now has changed over the last X number of periods. So this is the June meeting that we're looking at right now. We still have overwhelming majority expecting that we're going to be getting no change in the rate at the May meeting, but the June meeting is where it gets interesting. So as of yesterday, barely anyone was expecting a 25 that we would hold steady again. Now, 10% of participants are expecting there will be no change in the rates for June. So we went from mostly expecting a cut, in fact, I think entirely pricing in a cut, to now we're seeing some participants say there might still be no reason to change the rates when it comes to June. I think that's worth noting. That being said, the overwhelming majority, about 90%, still does see a cut of at least 25 basis points in June, with some participants pricing in a 22 basis point cut. Guys, if you're enjoying the content, make sure to like and subscribe. I also have some research content on X at TTV Research if you're looking for infographics or other market news. Back to you.
There we go. Thank you, Adara, for all of that. Love those infographics. Keep them coming for sure. But if you are looking for unbeatable odds, like last night when you had a fantastic line on Florida, which we showed live, you got better on the money line by a large amount, then you want to look at Profit X. because this peer-to-peer platform, you get to set the price. No one-size-fits-all lines. It's like crafting your own picking strategy with real-time trading tools. Secure the best odds, track the action, and watch your plays come alive. Experience total control at every step. ProfitX, where sports playing is reimagined, just like trading, everybody. You can use the code TraderTV and get up to 2% cash back, up to $300. Obviously, it was a pretty interesting and fun game last night. One of the things that's coming up, we were looking at the Masters, and I always like to point this out. One of the things you get from ProfitX is betting on that no side, everybody. And if you have that opportunity, I think it allows you a little more flexibility in terms of playing. You can scan the book, see where the best odds are, place your bids, see if you get swept up with a good price. So big shout out to ProfitX for that. Palantir, like we said, it closed underneath the trend line. It just went down. Come to the chart for a quick little second. Just came down into support, which is about 60s into 65. So the range is tops 89, like 80, call it like 90s, 84, 90s or so. And then the bottom here is 65. So that prior bar is about 25 to 30 cents. And this support is 25 to 30 cents. So some out 1-to-1, some out to VWAP. And if it breaks that high, going to be out of Palantir. Intel's still looking like this trend is going to hold underneath the volume-weighted average price. I'm not adding to it yet. I think you want it to calm down a little bit here. There's a lot of things about this which are still bullish, like support at the prior resistance spot. And one thing that I'm in the back of my mind trying to remember, that squeeze that we had to the upside, after that happens, even if you have a lower high resistance, it's still significant, that lower high resistance. That's what held for the majority of the day. There was never going to be resistance in that squeeze move, so you have to be able to respect that. And for now, Intel might have some support at that level. So as I said, my plan of action for Palantir next out is going to be at VWAP. We just got more out at the 1-to-1, and we wait for it. I think it's looking like it could be a VWAP break. 82 ultimate area target. Why? Just because 82 was the prior day high. If we lose VWAP, I think we're headed to that.
Yeah, man. I mean, there it is. Another good idea there with the Palantir short. We're short at 85. Just covered more at 60s there. So we'll go 2 for 3 today and have, again, a pretty decent day one more time. I mean, I'm just, like I said, I'm bidding to get some out here. It's been coming into this level. If we can get VWAP, that would be fantastic. So I'm going to put some more outs right here. I'm actually just going to bid some more at 50. Hopefully we can get that trade, and we'll just move on, man. I mean, that's what we're looking to do right now, is a little bit of action here for this. So we thought we liked this trade. Again, underneath the 50-period moving average. Let's go. We do have enough bullets to fire, so we'll get another piece out here at 50 if we can, and then that will be a big trade. Another 50-cent winner right there. I'm actually on NASDAQ, so it's going to have to take the whole level for me to get the fill. So maybe I should switch and get on something else. But there it is. It does hold there at 50. We did have a bid there. We're not too worried about it right now. Hopefully it does come back in there. Palantir, a big trade alert for that one. So we'll be good on PLTR, and hopefully it does fill us up there at 50 as it continues to go down. Just thank you to everybody for watching today. Best you could do is for us would be hit that like, hit the subscribe, but just make sure you stay with us here for the midday show with Joe and Sharif, and then I'll be back at 2 p.m. and we will trade again then. VWAP here for Amazon. So we got a bunch outs, man. Now I have 2% left of Amazon. Hopefully there's something there and we'll be able to take advantage of Amazon. But, you know, I'll probably reload this in and around 180. But as you can see, man, we kind of nailed the market with this move to the downside there by shorting Palantir. So I can wait for that, see if it does want to work itself out a little bit. You can see how valuable sitting on the wrong gateway is, because we were at NASDAQ there and it just didn't print us at 60s. So here are at 50, so hopefully it comes back in, and we'll just change it. We'll go to 56 now, put a bid there, hopefully get that fill, and then watch it go to the downside. So Amazon, look, Amazon's going to be P&L number 1 for the show today, obviously, and then Palantir, because of this trade, will be P&L number 2, and then we'll just work on it from there, and I'll just sit there, man. Palantir yesterday was a huge trade for me, and hopefully we can have it here again today, and we'll see if that can get back into the pocket for us with Palantir. And after that, yeah, Bitcoin and IBIT really taking that stair step down right there. So yeah, good outs it looks like for you. I know it will be a red name, but at the end of the day, the VIX, the market right now, yeah, starting to come back in. So here we go. These are the dip buys that we're kind of looking for. You know what I mean? So if we do get that dip buy opportunity, even Bitcoin down at 73, 74, 75, you know, those could be good dip buy opportunities as well. If you were looking for some Bitcoin love, you may be able to get that. But here comes Palantir. If we can get that mid-50s, we'll take it. We were just getting greedy there. We're having such a big day. There it is. So there we go. We get the 56 now on Palantir. So there it goes, man. I hope you guys can all follow this trade. We put it on. It's been good so far. It's PLTR, and we've still got, like like I said, man, we all trade different sizes. So I still have a bunch on. We'll see what winds up happening here as we continue to move lower.
Yeah, market definitely heading lower. I'll show you guys UVXY in a quick little second. If Intel bounces, support to resistance, resistance, support. If we bounce off 19.8, we're trending in and trending out of this thing. So if it breaks the downward trend that it's in, I'm going to jump out. But I'm watching VIX here because you're starting to go right back into the 40 level. 40 was where this sucker turned around yesterday, and 40 and overnight is where we accelerated. So if we if we reject 40 on the VIX and pull back in, probably a good spot to look for profit on shorts and outs, or in entry points, I guess you'd be looking for on long. So you just got to VWAP and Palantir. We'll let it continue the trend. Looking at 82 next. And as I mentioned, Intel, if it bounces off that high, that low of the day, I should say, the VIX going to highs, this going to lows. Simple as this breaks trend after bouncing off the low, I get out and wait for VWAP to get back in. If it breaks the bottom, then we're holding to see how far it might want to drop. Just had to stick with, like when the market was making higher highs, this was making the same high. So it never really stopped setting up for the short. Was that a call for Adara?
I believe so.
Okay. Do Adara, guys.
Just be aware here, get a little bit of a drop in the market. Still getting comments from Jameson Greer, U.S. trade representative here, repeating that Trump definitely has said he will not do near-term tariff exemptions. But we also had comments coming up from Lula, who is the leader of Brazil, saying that what Trump is doing in the U.S. will not work. So some more leaders here coming out talking about Trump's tariff policies as we await this move over to the Midday Show. Back to you.
In trade, what's up, everybody, man? I just hope everybody got this Palantir. Glad Neil jumped back into this. We had talked about it. We just covered some at 30s, so that was a good trade. 35s we just got there on Palantir, giving us, we're short 97, so 62 cents there on that move back in for PLTR, and it's working, man. So yeah, there it goes. Big 2-for-2 day on Amazon and Palantir that will drop it out on Intel. But there's Amazon. We're going to get out of Amazon now. So, yeah, big day. Congratulations to everybody who is green today. It was a tough morning, unless you had waited, I guess, for this short. It was pretty much along the whole day. There's the short, just came in. So congratulations, anybody trading, today, and hopefully you're able to have a successful one. So yeah, man, good job there. I hope you guys are all green. If not, you'll get there. Don't worry, and hopefully you learn something, if nothing else, right? So there's a couple outs there on Palantir, and yeah, thank you, Stevenson, and everybody else, man. No matter if you're green or red today, I hope you enjoyed the show.
Yeah, by the way, Intel just held the low. I'm out. We're out of Intel off that break. Looks like it's trying to continue lower, but I want to wait for VWAP. It's always going to be my plan of action to trade range bound. If I see a range and support and resistance, then I'm going to get out and trail that last little bit. We'll hold it from station to station, but if it makes that stop, then I got to follow my rules. Palantir holding VWAP as well. If it breaks trend off of VWAP, then I'm also getting out of that. Let's go on over to the midday. It is Joey Options. It is the professor. Go get him, boys.
Boom! Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to How to Trade During the Midday. That is your boy, Joey Dang Options, and I'm Sharif. And YouTube likes to take their time. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay.